and welcome to a rainy night at Jake Sweeney Stadium at Pat Mancuso Field at Princeton High School. It is week number 1 of the playoffs, and the Walnut Hills Eagles come in facing the Princeton Vikings. Hello, I am Bill Bretz. First round of the playoffs, the Vikings look to clinch a second playoff game, I'll get that out, and one final game here at Pat Mancuso Field. Let's take a look at our bracket, and joining me is Glenn Olson. And Glenn, interesting this year, 16 teams now in the bracket instead of 8 as in previous years, and a lot of GMC teams in there.
And it's going to be a grinder for sure. Hello, Bill. Good to see you again. It's been almost a year since we've worked together last.
That's right.
Good to be back with you. But the winner of this game will go on to face the winner of Lakota East and Sycamore. We're expecting a barn burner there, as their regular season matchup was a fairly close contest. But then you survive week 2, chances are you're going to end up with Moeller and then either Fairfield or Mason, a GMC foe. Could possibly happen. But yeah, definitely a grinder here in D1, and every team that wanted to make the playoffs in D1 Division or Region 4 made it this year, with Western Hills opting out because of the situation there. So it's going to be a fun tournament to watch for sure.
Let's go with the keys of the game here now for from Walnut Hills. Their head coach is James Crook, and he is very familiar with Princeton here. Last 4 years, he was a Princeton JV coach here. He knows a lot of these players on the Princeton side, so I'm sure he was talking a lot about that this week. So he's a Roger Bacon grad, was the Vikings defensive assistant here. His keys, Walnut Hills, contain their deep threat, and they do have a deep threat. They have to contain their speed. The Eagles have allowed 124 yards passing. That's 4th in the ECC. Their longest reception allowed was 31 yards. And that's interesting because you do have some high-powered receivers out here for the Princeton Vikings. So
Right.
For Princeton, though, what's their keys tonight?
For Coach Andre Parker in his first year here at the helm of the Vikings program, he says they are nowhere near our ceiling. They need to clean up the offensive execution. Of course, you and Mike Lorienti had the call here last week for Coleraine and Princeton, a very close contest.
And a lot of penalties.
Let's hope that's not the case tonight. Princeton comes in averaging 38.6 points per game. That's the most in the mighty GMC and the second most in the regional bracket behind, guess who? The Moeller Crusaders. But that's going to start with opening up the backfield. Let's transition over to our players to watch. For us, it's going to be number 1, Maurice Borden, the senior, averaging just over 49 rush yards a game, a little over 5 yards a carry, 8 total touchdowns. He got one on the ground last week, also caught one through the air. Aside from the scoring, he's really been held in check in the backfield, according to Coach Parker, and he really wants to see a breakout game, and that's going to help open up that dynamic passing game, which I know you're going to talk about, Bill.
Yeah, as far as Walnut Hills go, the player to watch for them is their number 1. No, 2 number 1s here tonight. Javion Bostic, he's a junior, 803 receiving yards. That is second in the ECC. He's had 5 touchdowns this year. He's first in average and of at least 15 receptions. And on defense, he has 43 tackles, a fumble recovery, and 2 interceptions. So he's a first-team player for the ECC. He's a big play threat, according to Coach Crook, can score at any point in the game. So we're going to see what happens. This weather tonight, I think we can put that word as miserable.
Yep.
Is here. It has been rainy. It's been raining most of the day today, but it's actually picked up quite a bit here in the last hour or so. So, we don't have to worry about the old days of the grass fields now, but that field is slick down there, that turf field down there. It's going to be interesting tonight what they're going to do.
Yeah, definitely maybe some ball control issues, some footing issues. We've seen that here on this field before when it gets a little bit wet, but I'm sure it's going to be a fun game to watch and here in the press box, and a fun game for our fans at home tuning in live.
First week of the playoffs, loser goes home, winner plays on. We'll find out who that will be tonight. Coming up, the kickoff.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC-TV Sports. That's going to be a ball game. Princeton takes the match.
Shot, goal! Brings a tackle at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings!
Hi, I'm Benny Wells.
Whatever the sport, wherever it's played, there's one thing that student athletes, coaches, and fans can all share: sportsmanship. The Ohio High School Athletic Association Respect the Game campaign reminds us that school sports are so much more than wins and losses. On behalf of the OHSAA, let's all do our part to make school sports a fun, positive, and rewarding experience that student athletes will remember for a lifetime. Every game, every time, let's all respect the game.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
See the Princeton Vikings as they are on their first week of the playoffs along with the Walnut Hills Eagles. Bill Bretz, Glenn Olson, glad you have joined us here tonight on a very rainy night at Pat Mancuso Field. We'll have a little story about Pat here if you didn't catch it last week, a little later on. Let's talk about those officials right now. Your referee tonight, Dave Campbell. Tim Hunsaker is your umpire. The linesman is Christopher Estes. Line judge, Jamie Harding. And Bill Sisto is the back judge for that. Princeton, Walnut Hills won the toss, and they have elected to defer. So Princeton offense, as they were last week, will be on the field. And for the third straight game here, Mekhi Lim will be starting at quarterback for the Princeton Vikings. He was all first team last year, over 1,400 yards last year, but got hurt in a preseason and did not play until week number 9. But TJ Engelman did a yeoman's job over that period of time for the Vikings. He has over 1,400 yards. And I tell you what, Glenn, would you just love to have your backup quarterback on the bench with 1,400 yards passing? That's
truly,
a dream.
You know, you and I were talking off air before we went live here about how deep Princeton is, and what a perfect example you just served up for our viewers right there, Bill. Just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, according to Coach Parker, TJ would rather play receiver, be running back. You know, that's his preference to play. So he's happy. Everybody's happy now. You know, Lynn's back at quarterback. He's happy, and we'll be seeing a lot of TJ Engel here tonight. So Walnut Hills ready to kick it off here.
Boy, it's almost on cue. The rain picked up even harder.
Number 16, Caden Phillips, a junior. He's going to be kicking off. Jaleel Engelman and TJ Engelman are going to be back. At least two of the backs there. They got about 3 or 4 guys back there. And if we mention the Engelmans a lot tonight, they are cousins.
Just make sure you get the first name in, right? There's a squib right off the bat.
And that is picked up by, we'll find out what the number is in a second. That's TJ Engelman. TJ Engelman, a nice run back on the little squib kick there, back to about the 43-yard line where the Princeton offense will get going here. They're down linemen: Frank Mills, Darnell Howard, Dirk Thomas, Josh Younger, Jalen Eberhardt, Caleb Sparks Matthews will be at the end at times there. You've got 4 receivers out there: Rodney Harris Jr., Jaleel Engelman, Lorenzo Engelman, TJ Engelman. Reese Borden will be in the backfield. He will be sharing the duties with Imani Steele. As we say, Mekhi Lynn at quarterback, starting out in shotgun position here.
Eagles start with a nickel defense.
High snap. Lynn's going to keep it himself. He's bottled up in the backfield. Now breaks loose on the left side. 45-50. 40 down to about the 39-yard line, and boy, did he get out of trouble fast.
What should have been about a 10-yard loss turns into a 25-yard gain. You can see here on the replay, bounces off the tackle, cuts it to the left side, and works his way deep into Walnut Hills territory for a Princeton first down.
Steele started, but Borden is now in the backfield. Princeton Vikings now early on in this game in the Eagles' territory.
We're expecting fireworks out of the Vikings, and we got it from the word get-go here.
TJ Engelman is in at quarterback right now.
Walnut showing blitz.
The give is to Borden. Borden's got running room. down to the 5, 10, 5, and did he get into the end zone? He fumbled.
Walnut Hills will have it on the 1.
Are you kidding me?
Holy cow.
Oh my gosh. Princeton, 2 huge plays to begin this game, including about a 38-yard run by Borden, and he coughs it up at the 1-yard line.
You know, Bill, I was going to say this doesn't even look fair at this point, but then Walnut Hills steps up and makes a tremendous strip. There you see it right there. Gets ripped out right inside the 5-yard line.
That's Bostic that did that. Yes, that's one of our key players there, Jalen Bostic. So how about this?
And that wasn't a ball control in terms of the weather. That was just a great strip by the Walnut Hills defense.
TJ Nelson, quarterback now for the Walnut Hills offense. He has Israel Bradford in the backfield. His receivers are Javion Bostic, who made the big play there, Cole Cooper, and Jeremiah Israel. Go to the down lineman here in a second. He's in the end zone now with.
That's not the way to start.
Nope. We have a false start.
Not the way to start.
Now, you measured this in inches now?
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't even go a half a yard there. That's
I don't
inches.
think so.
Yeah.
Makes no difference really.
Well, if you're going to commit a penalty, at least it's a minor yardage penalty, right?
Yeah. Oh, there's a nice breakthrough by the backfield by Bradford. He gets some nice running room, gets a little distance out there.
Obviously, the nice part about that, now the Walnut Hills defense has a little bit more room in which to work.
John Jameson, Kristen Courtney, Ibrahim, Sacco, Desmond Gale, Devin True are your down linemen, and Jax Marco is the tight end.
Princeton's going to bring an extra man up on the line. We'll see what happens if he drops back into coverage, but they rushed 4 on the last play. Now they're going to bring 5.
Nelson, back to pass, screen pass. It's out, and one of those situations where the player looked up the field, and I think that was Bostic. He looked up the field before he caught the ball.
That was Yisrael, the intended receiver.
Yisrael, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's early.
Yeah, and it was on the other side of the field. There you go. I got all my excuses in right now.
Well, you're watching the field. I'm watching the monitor, so I'm here for you, buddy.
All right. Thanks for covering me.
All good.
2nd and about 3. Looks like Nelson's going to take it now. He throws it, and ooh, that pass is complete. If it is, it's going to be a first down, but that was a dangerous pass.
Always dangerous on that bootleg action out to the right.
A.J. Nunley was back there covering it. Watch, you'll see Nunley, number 11, come in right about there. That was
he did
close.
Not have it. He did not have possession.
He didn't. It's 4th down, so they're going to have to kick. Well, we went through about a minute or so of the game. We haven't got the defenses yet because the offenses have made it really quick for us.
Yeah.
5 offensive plays right now.
Princeton's receiver back inside the 40.
Not a good punt, but it gets a good Walnut Hills bounce out to about the 48-yard line. So they got out of trouble on that one, but still it's going to have good field position for the Princeton Vikings, who's had 2 plays from scrimmage, both of them big plays, big runs. But they fumble on the 1-yard line, could not get it in. Now they're going to get a second chance.
Let's see if Andre Parker is able to get his offensive charges calmed down after the strip.
Here's Walnut Hills defense. Nose tackle Murphy Tilt, Gale and Sacco, and Khan Sacco. They are cousins. Asai Williams leads the ECC in tackles. We'll get back to that in a second. Meanwhile, TJ Engelman now is in a quarterback. I'm not sure if he actually started the game here. But not surprising that Coach Parker's going to be running both in and out. Alex Milo and Avery Wyatt. Those are all your linebackers. And Jeremiah Israel, Sia Burrell, Zion James, Israel Bradford, Javion Bostic are your defensive backs. Looking over here at the sideline for the play. Now they got it. Play clock down about 8 right now. Engelman gives to Borden. Borden gets a little bit of running room for about 4 or 5 yards, but then he's followed up. at about the 43-yard line.
Nice carry, brings up a manageable down distance situation here.
It's interesting that Engelman is in quarterback. I'm looking down on the sideline here, and we see number 4 down there anywhere.
Let's see if I can spot
Well,
him.
actually, he must be out there in the field right now because I see number 5 down there. Unless those guys switch jerseys on us.
It's been known to happen, right?
That is Lynn. Lynn breaks one tackle, breaks a second one. He's got a first down and more inside the 25-yard line. Got an 18-yard run.
He is so quick. The Walnut Hills defense never really had a chance, even after the high snap and the fake handoff. Here you see, nice move here. There's the slippery footing we talked about coming into play, affecting the Walnut Hills defense. And Lynn with a big gainer.
If you can get yourself going forward there, you can pick up some yardage. It's going that east-west is the problem right now. So.
Right. First set of downs, they'll take it.
Yep.
Big hole up
And
there.
hold, that's Bostic, I believe, again.
Number 9.
Number 9, that's Amani Steele.
It's a gain of 7, Bill. It's going to bring up a very manageable second and third.
Princeton has showed no problem running the ball on the Eagles defense so far. They have yet to throw the ball. They don't need it right now.
Yeah, and why take the chance? You saw
Right.
the trouble that Walnut Hills had on their brief possession. Hopefully shouldn't say hopefully, I would imagine we're going to see a lot of ground and pound tonight. Just trying to keep things moving here and try to get out of here.
High snap, Engelman, I think, or Lynn. That's Engelman. Well, he carries the whole bunch of Eagles with him, and he does get the first down.
A little bit of a scrum after the play there.
Engelman came in 822 yards. That was 6th in the GMC during the regular season. And he's picked up about another 20, 30 yards here tonight.
And many more to come, I would anticipate, based on my previous comment.
13-yard line now. It looks like they're putting in an extra lineman there. And there's a pitch around. That goes to number 16, I believe it would be Jaleel Engelman.
That was Frank Mills who ran out onto the field. He was listed as a starter, so not sure if he had an equipment issue or what there, Bill.
So Jaleel gets back to about the line. Well, he doesn't actually. He loses about a yard on it, so that'd be second and about 12. They can get down to about the 4-yard line and still have another set of downs. High snap again. This time met in the backfield, so now this Eagle defense is toughening up.
We're going to want to keep an eye on the center quarterback situation there because we've had several high snaps already tonight.
Right. I'm sure it's a weather issue because we did not see it last week.
Walnut showing a little blitz coming in. Princeton will make the adjustment now that they've read the D.
Looks like Steele is still in there as running back next to Engelman. Or Lynn, no. Got penalty here. We got a false start on Princeton.
And credit to Walnut Hills on that one, Bill. They showed pressure before the adjustment. They showed pressure right before the snap and got Princeton to jump a little bit. It's going to put them in 3rd and long, way back just past the 20-yard line.
If you're looking at a field goal opportunity that's right now for Cole Walker, it'd be about 37 yards from this point.
And not that there's much wind, but that would be into the wind and the rain.
Right. 32's been his best this season. They're showing blitz now. They're coming at him. And now they breaks him. Lynn breaks open. And he is hit hard.
What a lick.
That was by number 3, Barrel. He's a junior, 5'11", only 169 pounds. But boy, he put all 169 pounds in on that.
He brought a little more than 169 pounds of pain right there. Watch this.
This is Engelman.
Just lowers the shoulder right into the pads. Clean hit.
But it does give him a new set of downs, so.
Kept him out of the end zone.
Fourth down for the Vikings.
Nope,
Fourth down.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry. You got back to about the line of scrimmage.
Fourth and 9.
So 4th and 9. They are going to try a field goal, it looks like.
And look at this. The rain has almost stopped. The flags are essentially still on top of the goalpost. There's a little bit of movement on the American flag.
Cole Walker 5 for 6 this year.
Good snap.
Snap is up, and it is a line drive. No, it went off to the right. He made 5 straight to begin the season. Missed one last week. Now he's missed one tonight. And the Eagles defense holds that powerful Princeton offense.
These angles are always tricky from the side up here. It looked like it was going to have just enough distance to get across the crossbar, but there you see it. It was wide right.
Yeah. As we showed again, I think it might have hit the crossbar. It was awful close to it. So 5:57 to go, no score in this game.
If you had the under on halfway through the first quarter here, which we did not think was going to happen coming into this game, thought we were going to see quite a few points scored. A good field position for Walnut Hills on their second possession.
So they're at the 20, Nelson. High snap from him too. Give is to Bradford, and he gets back to maybe the line of scrimmage. I just think these centers are having a hard. Princeton's defense now. Vince McQueen's your down lineman. McQueen's Humphrey Grace, Ty Carter. Ty Carter has 5 sacks this year, 5.5 sacks for Humphrey Grace. Gillum, Naz Lutman has 9 sacks, leads the GMC. Nunley, Stoker. Then we have Warren, Clark Gover, Wimpy, and Powell. Wimpy with 3 interceptions this year. 26 total sacks for this Princeton team in the first 10 games.
Obviously, they can hurt you in so many ways. Clean pocket there, but just blanketing coverage provided by the Princeton defense.
Pass was to Bostic. 1st and 10, though. You get a first down out to about the 30-yard line. That's what they needed.
Hey, they'll take every yard they can get against Princeton right now.
And there, that did not go well at all.
Good vision there. The hole just closed up by the time he decided to dance back to his left.
That was Burrell on that run. Saya Burrell. Burrell had 95 yards rushing coming in the game, including a touchdown.
Officials timeout, Bill. Not sure if we have an equipment issue or.
Just keep that ball dry.
I'm not quite sure what that was all about.
Princeton had a couple of subs, but here we go. 2nd and 7.
Princeton's going to step up into a blitz. Now, are they going to drop back into coverage? We'll see once the snap occurs. Looks like they are going to drop back into coverage. Going to bring forward.
Nelson's going to take it himself out to about the 38-yard line. He's going to be a couple yards short of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and short.
So Princeton's keeping a spy back to make sure Bostic is honest, and they were ready for that one. Guy who made first contact, that was the spy. His number got by me too quickly there. But Princeton's not going to get Bostic a ton of room to run.
3rd and 2 now for the Eagles. Another high snap. Oh, this time his helmet comes off. That was Burrow again. And Nunley just about took his head off.
I apologize, I misspoke. Nelson, quarterback. So a promising drive has sputtered out for the Eagles here, and they're going to bring the punt team out. Looked like they had some things working there.
Alex Malove is your punter.
Turn man's back around the 37.
He hasn't had a whole lot of punts this year, but he averages 45 yards, so let's see what he can do on his punt.
Princeton late getting the proper special teams personnel on the field. Bit of a fluttering snap, but a better punt.
And it's taken, but we got a ball down. It's already, TJ Engelman took the ball at about the 37-yard line. The ball actually hit the ground. Official threw the flag, and I think he threw the flag just make note that that play was over. So ball at the 36-yard line. Princeton third time tonight. You joined us late. 2 big plays to start the game, but they coughed it up at the 1-yard line. Walnut Hills no good the other direction, and we stand now at a 0-0 game with 3:09 to go.
Yeah, and Walnut Hills took about 3 minutes of clock off there, give or take a few seconds, Bill. And that's what they want to do, keep Princeton offense off the field as much as possible to give themselves a fighting chance.
Lynn gives to Borden. Borden picks up about 5 yards. It's going to set up a 2nd and 5. The matchup to watch at here right now, Glenn, is Rodney Harris Jr. He's out here on the far side. He did not have a whole lot of touches last week, although he did very well in their last series that they were coming down the field. He's got 1-on-1 coverage. Let's see what happens if he can get loose. And the give is to Borden. He's not going to go anywhere this time. Israel Bradford is on him, 1-on-1 coverage.
Keep an eye on that matchup for sure. That has the potential, especially if the rain holds off. Might start seeing some footballs flying through the air here shortly. Meanwhile, 3rd and short here for the Vikings offense.
See if they'll keep it on the ground. Borden still in the game. Linden backfield.
Good penetration by Walnut Hills.
Walnut Hills, he's not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, and that's going to be a loss, or maybe right back to the line of scrimmage. But good defensive effort by the Eagles that time.
4th and 2, Glenn. What do you do? About midfield. You think you're going to go for it?
I think you go for it. Trust your offense, especially now that as I said a moment ago, the rain has held off. Walnut Hills is going to show some pressure. See how many they end up keeping in the box.
Lynn with the hard count. They're showing pressure. And the give is
no. It's going to be a yard shy, Bill.
Nope, his knee went down right about the 45-yard line. He had to get out to the 46.
And the linesman on the far side of the field was right on that from the get-go. There was no doubt about where the ball was going to be spotted.
So a change of downs now for the Princeton. Now Walnut Hills will get the ball in their best field position of the night. With 1:23 to go here in quarter number 1.
First down for the Eagles. I think right now you've got to dig into your playbook a little bit and take advantage of this outstanding field position. You're just across the 45-yard line to hit pay dirt. So really think you want to try to catch Princeton napping. Maybe take a shot deeper.
Nelson, that quarterback, his longest touchdown pass has been 65 yards. He's had 8 TDs. He's been intercepted 10 times this year. Got trips out to the left.
I'm not suggesting you go to the end zone right away, but I would definitely take a deep shot. But here comes the pressure.
Yeah, pressure is, he's not going to go anywhere.
Well, it sounded good.
Yeah.
It sounded like a good idea.
Yeah.
Your offensive line has to do their job. And there you can see, look, coming in from the edge, that's where that play got busted up.
And I can't see the player right now. And I believe it was.
So that's a loss of 6.
Is that number 6 or number 9?
Couldn't tell. It went so quickly.
Steele if it's number 9.
No.
Oh, this time another.
Now you've gone back with 7 yards.
That was Nas Lukman.
Well, I think at Walnut Hills at this point, if you're going to try to run the ball, you've got to start bringing in some extra protection up front.
27 seconds, and we have a timeout.
It's an injury out near the Walnut 45-yard line with an Eagles.
Injury timeout. I'm going to talk a little bit, Glenn, about these two teams' games last week. Both of them were close games. Walnut Hills had a double overtime game against Lebanon. And in that game, T.J. Nelson had 3 touchdown runs. He had a TD pass to Bradford in that game. They lost, though, in double overtime, 28-27 to Lebanon. They tried a 2-point conversion, did not get it, and lost the game. But 307 yards on the ground. Nelson had 139 yards on the ground, and Burrow had 104 yards. If you watched our game last week with Princeton and Colerain, that was a good game. Colerain took the lead, 12-7 to go with 2:41 to go, and Princeton put together a beautiful 69-yard drive, which had penalties everywhere. Jaden Engelman had 2 big catches for first downs, or Jaleel Engelman. Rodney Harris had a 13-yard catch. Lynn had 2 first down runs. And finally, with 40 seconds to go, Maurice Borden put it in from 2 yards out. Then Colerain came up the field, and with 3 seconds to go, they tried a 46-yard field goal. It was a little bit wide to the left, and that was your final score, was 13-12. They had a missed PAT earlier in the game. Boy, we've talked about that so many times over the years, Glenn, how that missed PAT had hurt Colerain twice this season.
The kicking game is always an adventure, Bill.
Absolutely.
Your injured player is Israel Bradford.
Ooh, that's tough for them. Bradford in their backfield.
And he was down for quite a while, surrounded by 4 or 5 guys. He did get up under his own power and walked off, but definitely going to go to the tent to get some attention from the training staff.
That's a pretty big blow for the Eagles.
Yes.
3rd down.
Meanwhile, they've given up 8 yards so far after starting with excellent field position.
Nelson being flushed out of the pocket. He's being chased down. He throws it and almost had him
gotta be
open.
A flag. There it is.
Bostic was interfered with.
Interfered with is polite. He was hanging on his back as he was catching the football.
We'll see that. All right, Glenn, we'll put it that way. Yeah.
Well, if there hadn't been a flag on that, they just need to abolish the rule.
Yeah, well, okay.
It's not like the NFL where it's,
no, it's not from
you got to be a lawyer to figure it out. That was pretty plain PI there.
And it's not from the line. It's not from the spot there either. It's going to be 10-yard, 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, here you go. Here's a great angle at it. And while we have a minute, there you see, he's hanging on.
Yeah, that's right.
But just a credit to our crew, especially our cameramen who braved the elements to set up today, braving the elements to bring you all the action here from Pat Mancuso Field at Jake Sweeney Stadium. Just a lousy day to be in videography for sure.
Absolutely. They're all fish and dolphins out there. Nelson. And there's a catch made now.
That should be a first down.
That should be a first down.
Yeah, the referee didn't move. He's right at the marker. He's going to take a half a step forward, so that should be a first down for Walnut Hills.
That was Burrow with the catch. He was right there where he should have been, and they moved the sticks, so ball on the 35-yard line.
Talk about hearing footsteps coming and hanging in there. They need to fix the down indicator over there. They moved the sticks, but the down indicator still says 4, but that's going to be the quarter.
That's right. So it's not the 4th quarter, it's the 1st quarter. We're going to step out for just a moment. We have no score here in the first week of the playoffs between Princeton and Walnut Hills. Don't go away.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
Welcome to Viking Voices, the people of Princeton.
Here today, Hall of Fame students in a Hall of Fame school.
As always, go Vikes!
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Back here at a very wet Princeton High School here tonight. For the Vikings, this is their 17th time in the playoffs. And obviously the 3rd year in a row for them. And They have quite a record over the years. They have been Final Four 6 times, runner-up 3 times, state championships in 78, 83, and 87. Of course, that was under the great coach Pat Mancuso. Spent so many years here. Pat's still around. 92 years old. They did a little celebration right up the road with him back in August, and some of his former players.
108 offensive yards for the Vikings, 17 for Walnut Hills. But get a load of this time of possession. Walnut 516, Princeton 648.
Wow. Right now, though, the Eagles are driving. Pass, long pass, and a turn around, and
maybe underthrown.
Yeah.
Good play call. I like it.
Yeah. Play was to the Bostic. Bostic is his favorite receiver. He's had 38 receptions coming into the game tonight.
So 3rd and 8, not exactly on schedule, Bill, but this is where Princeton needs to step up and make sure Walnut Hills doesn't go over the top of them here to pick up a first down.
Rain has settled a little bit, so we're now seeing a little bit more passing. Nelson's going to take it himself, but he is brought down for a loss.
He might have stepped out of that pocket just a moment or two too early. I think, Bill, there was pressure coming, but it wasn't as imminent as his feet led him to believe.
Naz Lukman with another tackle for loss. It's his 2nd one tonight.
Decision time for the Eagles, and looks like we're going to get swapping of personnel, and they're going to try to bury one in the corner. In theory.
We'll see what happens.
See if there's anything in the bag of tricks tonight.
Actually, that might have been Nelson in there because we think the quarterback might be hurt down there. So we're going to check that out as we get going here. And it looks like we have a delay of game, which is really probably on purpose.
Give yourself 5 more yards.
Yeah, give himself a little more room in there for
don't see anybody under the medical tent other than Israel, who we talked about several minutes ago.
High snap, got to get to kickoff. That was almost blocked.
What a roll.
Oh, great roll inside the 10 down to about the 8-yard line. That's a 32-yard punt, but can't get much better than that.
Yeah, if you're not going to be able to pick up that first down, that's a good change in field position.
Watch how close this was getting blocked.
Yeah, get his leg extended.
Yeah.
But hey, it worked out. I mean, the ball spotted down inside the 10.
Can't get much better than that. So,
just amazing. The wind is almost non-existent right now. When would, in theory, there's a flag coming in.
Flag, and Lynn's gonna, I think it's Lynn. And we have a flag, and probably going to be a hold. Let's see what happens.
But just to finish that thought, if there was any wind, it would be at the Vikings' back.
Yes. No, it's going to be on. Actually, the flag was thrown in the backfield, so it's going to be on Walnut Hills.
So face mask, Walnut Hills. That's a biggie.
Could be intentional. Could be non-intentional. Let's see what they're going to mark off.
Down distance guys they're packing up and going for a hike, so we'll say it's a major.
Out to the 32-yard line. That gets him out of trouble fairly quickly there.
Had to get some hurry up over there on the chain gang. Princeton was ready to snap the ball, and they weren't set yet.
No score with 10 minutes to go here in a quarter and a half.
Oh, it's cruising right by, huh?
Lynn in the backfield along with Steele. The give is to Steele. Steele picks a little hole right there, gets about 3 or 4 yards.
Closer to 5. Maybe a long 4.
See where his knee went down.
Our linesman on the far side of the field ended up giving him an extra yard after he got up to the line of scrimmage. He originally was going to spot him around the 36 and ended up making it the 37.
Steele had 374 yards coming into the game. He has 6 touchdowns on the season. And the give is to I'm assuming Steele has stayed in the game. It is.
2 yards. Good job by Walnut Hills defense clogging up the middle that time, limiting the game.
So it's 3rd and about 3, a long 3 for them.
Indeed.
Trips to his right.
Whistles. Timeout, Princeton. Nope, substitution. Princeton did not get an adequate chance to substitute.
Steele comes out, Borden comes in. Now, I think just about everybody in the stadium knows who the ball's going to get in the hands of right now with Mr. Borden in the game, but we'll see. Boy, they're going to bring 7.
Walnut Hills trying to get into the heads of that Vikings offensive line.
There's a pass. Oh, nice grab and nice grab and go here by.
Oh my goodness, that's not even fair.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, how many times are they going to miss a tackle on him? They are going to say he's down, but he never did fully contact the ground.
That is Jaleel Engelman. I figured it was an Engelman, but I was trying to catch. He was running so fast I couldn't get his number there. But Jaleel Engelman, what a run! But what a catch to start. Watch this. I don't know if we saw that right off the bat there, but
we did. And you know, you hear it so much in the high school and college game, get your playmakers into space, and that's exactly what Princeton did on that play. And look at the carnage created as a result of that.
Well, but they're going to bring it back.
Oh no. Is there a flag?
There was a flag on the play.
Oh no, totally missed that.
You see, did not see Dave Campbell signal yet what it was.
Still trying to get the.
It was a holding on the Vikings, but they did make some.
It's going to be up to the 46.
Still going to be a first down, though, so not as far.
So they gave up, what, 15 or so yards there.
So they're at the 46-yard line of the Eagles.
Still a successful play. Quick snap by the Vikings.
Lynn, we have another flag coming up. Lynn gets tripped up over the 30 down to about the 20-yard line, 29-yard line, but I believe this one's going to be coming back.
There's Jeremiah Israel in the right place, upending Lynn. So sideline warning, the Vikings getting a little too excited, and our officials don't have room to operate there on the sideline.
All right, well, not a flag, just a warning on that. So, and the chain crew is getting a workout over there.
They must have a thermos of coffee there into they're keeping them warm. They're not in a big hurry tonight.
Lynn back to pass. He's got a man open down there, but he overthrows his intended receiver, which I believe was Jaleel Engelman. Oh, that's Lorenzo Engelman. Well, we have to call Lorenzo. Have to call. When he puts a pass up, you got a 75% chance that an Engelman's going to catch it. So
had to chuckle there. That ball was clearly overthrown, and the Walnut Hills defender had the no-fly zone out down there.
Yeah.
Maybe he held him up.
I don't know.
Didn't let him get there.
And that's Borden. Borden's got running room, 10, 5, and down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. We have no flags on the field, so it is going to be 1st and goal for the Princeton Vikings. Well, Borden's been in this position once before in the game tonight. This time he keeps the ball.
Took a flock of Eagles to bring him down.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I've been saving that for the right opportunity.
The give is the Borden,
nice
and he's not going to get an end zone.
Yeah, nice stop by the player right there at the 10-yard line. I think it was number 10, 18, excuse me. But yeah, just great job of reading that play and preventing the touchdown. That's
McCain Stacks, Sacco.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great job.
2nd and goal. The ball's about the 3 yard line.
Just have the grills fired up over at the concession stand.
I know. Rain has quit. The grills come out.
It's not fog. You can't see it in the shot that you have on your screen now, but just a lot of smoke coming from the home side of the end zone, drifting across to the Walnut Hills side.
Lynn looking to pass. And he did not. What was he doing, Glenn? He was looking to pass, but he kept the ball instead of throwing it.
Yeah.
And lost about 15 yards.
Maybe he was worried about turnover. Yeah, he's on the roll there. And he just starts moving backwards. I mean, he had nobody close, right? When you look in the corner of the end zone, there's not an Eagles player there. So I guess the one good thing is he didn't want to break that cardinal rule of throwing across your body.
Right.
But it really didn't look like he had a receiver in the area to where he could have thrown the ball.
All right.
I guess they just want to put a little flair on this play.
I guess so. Third at 16-yard line.
Clean pocket.
Lynn. He's got a pass. He's got a man open in the end zone.
There it is. Made it look easy.
And that is TJ Engel. Engel with the touchdown pass of 16 yards. And our first score of the night comes from the Vikings.
He said, I got you, Coach. I just need a little more room to work with on this play. See, the pocket was essentially clean. The throw right on the money. Now an extra point upcoming. 6:47 remaining in the half. Ooh, Walnut got in there.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on that. Cole Walker that left end tonight.
Cole Walker's pretty good. He's had 46 out of 50 this season, and that was a big one right there. Give the Vikes a 7-0 lead. 16 yards on the touchdown pass for Lynn. It's his 6th of the year. Another look at it. And Engelman, nice catch in the end zone. So for TJ Engelman, that is actually his first touchdown pass of the season. He's thrown 17 himself. So, but that is
his first
He's
reception.
thrown 15, and that's his first reception for a score.
He's used to feeding them, not eating them, huh?
There you go. You'll take it, though. Anyway, we see Coach Andre Parker, of course, spent 17 years over at Winton Woods.
17 years.
Made that a great, and we see Coach Crooks over there, former Princeton coach. Coach Parker, though, did such a great job over Winton Woods over the years there. They had a state championship in there. He's done and he's just picked right off where he picked up where he left off.
In all the years that Winton Woods was not in a conference, playing a rigorous schedule. Pretty much it was the 5th team in the GCL.
Right.
But just a tremendous job as an independent, for sure.
And Walker with the kick into the end zone. He does have a little bit of wind behind him on that kick, and but Walnut will go to work here with 6:47 to go here in a half. 17 years of Winton Woods. They were D2 most of the time, 11 times in the playoffs. 2017 they were runner-up. 2018 they were in the Final Four. In 2009 they were state championships. He has 20 playoff wins with Winton Woods, trying to get his 21st here of his career at Princeton.
17 minutes and 13 seconds to get our first score. Would you have thought that coming into this game?
Well, after the second play of the game, I would have thought it would be about 35 seconds, but very similar to last week's game. And there is running around the outside. There is number 3, Burrell, and he gets some nice running room.
He sure did. Did a nice job of getting out to the edge, as you're going to see here. Picks up a good block, and then lowers the shoulder and picks up a couple more yards.
I sense a little frustration on this Viking side over here.
I think
the last few plays.
That is accurate. Walnut Hills is throwing some things at them they didn't quite expect, and Walnut Hills definitely came to play. Goes without saying, they're, had in our pregame notes, their coach feels like they're a better football team than their record indicates, and we're seeing that so far.
Nelson, quick pass.
Nice
Burrow, and that's going to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, you really have to like that play. Maybe the heavy rain at the beginning of the game wasn't going to allow that to be as successful as it is now that it's somewhat drier. At least there's not precipitation in the air. Definitely kept the crowd away. You wouldn't know this was a playoff game on either set of stands tonight.
They're watching us on live stream.
Blame them. It's warmer at home.
Yeah, I know, bro. Welcome to all you people who are watching. And he lifts up. He has a nice overthrew his receiver down there. I think it was intended for Bostic.
Just by a couple yards. That was a great play, but yeah, just overthrew him by 2, 3, 4 yards. Bostic's going to go right back out on the left side.
He's got a nice arm.
You know what I like about Walnut Hills here? They're going quick. Now they're going to stop, and they've read the defense, but they got back to the line quickly. Not really giving Princeton much of a chance to get the personnel they might want to have in.
Got trips. Here's the pitch. And the pitch is to 3 Burrell. He's been a workhorse tonight for them.
About 4 yards. That's a good play.
With Bradford on the sideline, Burrell's going to see a lot more. Came in with 311 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns.
So that's going to be 3rd and a long 7, so somewhat off schedule.
Burrell in the backfield with Nelson. Now he has twins on either side. Princeton's going to bring 3. Long count. Clock's down about 3. Let's see if they're going to call a timeout. They are.
They do. Good call.
So timeout.
Good call, Coach Bretz.
Walnut Hills, 3rd time in the playoffs for the Eagles and 2nd year in a row. Of course, last year was kind of a weird year. I mean, you know, anybody who want to could be in the playoffs
that
last
might
year.
Be the understatement of the decade.
Yeah, it was a weird year. So, did not have 20/20 vision for last year, but they were in. They lost to St. X last year. They were in one other time in 2011. So they have yet to win a playoff game. So we can see the bracket up there again. Moeller, Oak Hills 0-10, and Moeller 7-3. Moeller played a tough schedule here. So.
Yeah, we're out in front 7-0, we're told, thanks to our eyes and ears in the truck. So we said it was going to be a close one, and so far
7-0. That's interesting. The winner of this game will be playing the winner of East and Sycamore next week.
Last I saw, West was up 14-0 over West Claremont. You GMC fans who are curious,
knowing West, that's probably in the first minute of the game.
Oh,
there is.
That's disaster.
That's
disaster. You had a 3rd and manageable, and that's probably what, a 10 to 12 yard loss.
Jalen Stoker was in on that. Let's see, we have number 8 in there, Humphrey Grace, and a few others came in on that.
I mean, you feel bad. The quarterback really didn't have a chance to try to throw the ball away. The pressure just came quickly, and he was running the wrong direction from the get-go.
TJ Engelman at his 47-yard line. Miloff.
Boy, they got a
kick, and that's a short kick. Let's see what kind of bounce. It does not get the bounce this time. He had a lot of pressure on him again.
They're going to have to work on that snap to the punter because Princeton is going to get one before the night's over. There's just too much loft on that snap coming out from the long snapper.
And it really it really puts a pressure on the kicker too when you see it.
Now watch right here, see what I'm talking about. See how much that ball is in the air? And look how close Princeton is to getting there. They're going to get one before the night's over unless they can get that on a little more of a beeline direct back to the punter.
Sacco is their long snapper. It's the same person as the regular center.
I know it's tough.
Lynn airs it out, and he had a man open down there, looks like number 7. We're talking about A.J. Green over here.
It might be, yeah. Troy Aikman ate him up last.
Rodney Harris. A.J. who?
It just made me laugh. Troy Aikman says, I have no idea what A.J. Green was doing. Sorry about that.
Intended pass was for Rodney Harris. Oh, well, how about them Bengals?
How about them?
Yeah, how about them Bearcats?
Yeah, that's even more fun right now.
Yeah, screen pass. That is the Jaleel. He's trying to find some room to go forward, but he's going to lose a couple.
What about those Navy midshipmen? One win on the year. They have had all kinds of chaos in their program where their AD fired their offensive coordinator after the first game. head coach has to bring him back in a different role. But boy, did they show up and give the Bearcats all they wanted last week.
That's right. Well, they usually do. I mean, they're a team the Bearcats don't like to see because they keep it on the ground.
Right. Well, and they did some things that you weren't expecting. They threw the ball a bunch last week. So, you know, UC is going to get everybody's best shot.
Lynn, nice coverage. The intended receiver was Rodney Harris.
That was a Brett Favre dart, but maybe just a touch low.
Israel was coverage on that, did a good job for Walnut Hills, and it's going to set up a 4th down now for the Vikings. So, yeah. Coach, he's going to talk to the players when they're over there. He knew Rodney.
Yeah, coached a lot of those guys when he was the JV coach here.
Yeah. But
it's a great thing about high school football, isn't it?
Yep.
Unlike the situation a couple years ago where a certain member of the team up north gave a former head coach of football on the sideline.
Houston, the punt. It's a good one. They're going to call fair catch at about the 15-yard line. And yeah, it was a good one.
Might have got jacked up into the concession stand had he not called that fair catch.
35-yard punt. Walnut Hills now with the ball. 3:46 to go. We're looking ahead right now. The Eagles won the toss. They deferred, so they will get the ball to begin the 3rd quarter.
3:46 left in this one. This quarter.
Low-scoring game, very, very similar to last week. It was 7-0 through most of the game in favor of Princeton.
Well, Princeton, no stranger to close contests then, right?
Nope.
And honestly, Walnut either after the game they played last week against Lebanon. Get into that story if you want about the decision at the end of the game.
No, you know what? Listen, you're 2-7 going to game. I mean, that'd be the one. Yeah,
I'm not being critical at all. I just want you to tell the story since you talked to the coach.
I think it was a good move.
Yeah.
You know, you're 2-7. You might as well go for it. Heck,
Yeah,
with a tie.
I agree. Tie gives you nothing.
Yeah, tie puts you into a 3rd overtime.
And I would be willing to guess most of those players agreed with the decision.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know. That's a program building decision in my opinion.
Right. That's a nice pass.
Well, that was a lick.
Pass was number 2. Cole Cooper, first time we called his name tonight.
He barely had time to catch it before he started getting it. Now we have an injured player on the field, a Viking.
Yeah. That's number 22 for the Vikes. That's Caleb Clark Grover. So Walnut Hills, they were one of the charter members of the Eastern Cincinnati Conference, along with Turpin, Kings, Loveland, Glen Estee, Anderson, and Milford. And a couple of changes have been made in that conference over the last few years. And a couple years ago, West Claremont, of course, came into being here when Amelia and Glen Estee combined. So they were the big school of the conference right there. But the big changes came in 2020 when 3 schools entered the conference. Little Miami came in from the Southwest Ohio Conference. Lebanon came in from the GWAC Conference. And Winton Woods, as you alluded earlier, being an independent for such a long time, finally found himself a conference home. And they came in. So that's where they are right now. So it is a 10-team conference like the GMC.
It's kind of ironic that Winton Woods ends up in the ECC after being shut out of the original formation of that conference, which was subject to a lot of debate in the area.
Right. Bostic was up. Did he make the catch? Was it out of bounds? It was incomplete. Bostic leaped for that ball. I didn't know if he got it. He got it out of bounds. Let's see this on the replay. I think he had the ball, but he was out.
Yeah, it looked like the shoe was on the chalk.
Yep.
To me, it looked out of bounds. Of course, no video replay at this level of the playoffs, only in the state final game.
All right. 2nd down and 10.
Right call.
2:59 to go here in the first half.
Hills can spread it out a little bit.
Pass is, the pass is to Cooper, and he's immediately brought down by...
I think the Princeton defensive game plan is pretty evident now. Just keep it all in front of you. We'll let you pick us apart underneath. You're just not going to go over top of us.
C.O. Powell made the hard hit there.
Sorry for not picking you up there, partner.
That's all right. That's all right. Nelson, he's got a man open in the field and in and out of the hands of Bostic. I tell you, Bostic, if he caught that, Glenn, he'd be off to the races.
That was a perfect play call and dang near a perfect pass.
A nice pattern that he was running right there. Just barely out of his hands.
Man, doesn't get much closer. Doesn't get much closer.
But instead of a first down, it is now a fourth down, and they're forced to punt again.
Great play call. Really like that. Bet we see that one again.
Engelman back about his 44-yard line.
Let's watch the snap. Again, high, lofty snap.
And that might have been touched.
I think it was deflected.
It gets a nice little bounce down to about the 42-yard line, but I think you're right, Glenn. I think it might have been touched a little bit. If anything else, he really is speeding up the kick, which he's not getting a good kickoff.
It's too much loft, as we talked about earlier. It's a difficult job. Take a look. See, look at that. That thing was probably 12, 15 feet in the air. Yep, right there, right?
Yep. I think you're right.
Not the guy who was rushing in, but the guy on the line. No, it doesn't narrow it down, but the big tall player with the long arms.
Walnut Hills calls a timeout.
So that's their second of the half. Can't take them with you, so why not?
So going back to Walnut Hills, they were in the FAVC for many years, 2003 to 2012. That's a conference. Boy, that seems like ages ago that conference went around. FAVC used to be one of the largest conferences in Ohio.
Yeah, there were 3 divisions, right?
Yeah, right, there was. And broke up back around 2011, 2012 when it broke up. And of course, those teams went everywhere. Even formed a couple of new conferences. Well, much of ECC and the Southwest Ohio Conference came from them. Some went independent. But yeah, that was a solid conference, and it wasn't really a big conference. Most of them were Division II teams, maybe 3 teams in there, a few Division I's thrown in there. But back to action here now. Borden in the backfield. Lynn's going to keep it himself. Lynn will spin move and gets out of a tackle and over the 45-yard line down to the 44. He was right about at the first down marker. He did that little spin move, giving out 5-6 yards.
Here's a lesson. When you make contact, you better get him down on the ground. Hurry up, too.
This time it goes to Borden. Borden makes about 3 yards.
Continue to roll. 145 and counting. Test your memory a little bit. Before the FAVC, was that the remnants of the Cross-County Conference?
Cross-County Conference, yeah. The Eastern Hills Conference. 13-0 Sycamore over East at half. We'll kind of catch up with some of the other scores, too.
God damn it.
Lynn, he's got a first down and a little bit more. Down to about the 32-yard line, about a 7-8 yard run. I really think Coach Parker would like to see a score here, considering the fact that they Walnut will be getting the ball going out of in the third quarter.
Right.
Oh, a little slip.
Turf monster, yep.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen it too much tonight, but we just saw it that time. And yeah,
slow. He did get hurt on that slide.
He really slipped back, and we're going to see this again. We're going to see his legs almost came out from. Yeah, there's his legs basically came out from underneath him.
Yeah, when he gets wrapped up around the legs, he's not in an ideal position, I'd say. Scary.
Well, it's not good for Mr. Lynn, but for Princeton, at least you got Engelman.
Right.
You can bring in there, but we have a timeout called. All right, we're going to see this again in slow motion.
There you can see this is where he loses the footing.
Yeah.
Right there. Yep. So that's scary enough.
Oh, yeah, being hit like that with your legs extended out, especially your ankles extended out.
Checking in on one of our communities, South 21 to Harrison 7. As of 7:26 left in the first half. That was about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, remember we did that LaSalle Harrison game? Yeah.
LaSalle goes on to win state.
Yeah. Was that the one? Was that the year they had the kicker? Yes.
47
yards. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think he was kicking them in the end zone all night on the kickoffs.
He was going to Ohio State, right?
I think so.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Hated that for Harrison. Just truly special to see that LaSalle team.
Lynn, he airs it out.
Picked.
He's got a man. Had double coverage down there. It was Rodney Harris Jr. who was his intended target.
It was Jeremiah.
Or Engelman. I'm sorry, Engelman.
It was Israel, I think, in the breakup.
And Lynn is. Oh, there's a flag. So. Oh, I think they say up here in the press box maybe roughing the passer. Lynn's kind of walking around there, kind of like in a daze in a way right now, so I don't know.
Hills,
wow.
An untimely penalty, to say the very least.
Well, that's definitely going to be a first down. That's 15 yards.
48 seconds left. It's going to set up Princeton in an even better position to attempt to score. And you talked about it, get that other score going into the half.
You need to get a little closer here for Cole Walker. I would say they need to get probably within about the 15 to 20 yard line area for Walker to give him a shot if they want to get a shot here. He does have, now that wind has picked up Glenn a little bit. I can see the flag now out. So this could be to his advantage, but Walker's longest field goal has been 32. Engelman, the quarterback. Engelman with the ball. Engelman's got some running room, and the ball was. I thought the ball squirted out, but it wasn't.
I think that was almost like a towel or something.
I know.
Take it how you can get it, right?
Yeah, Engelman. Watch this. Hey, it's his towel that came out.
Yeah, we saw something flying through the air. We think it's the
yeah, I know, really. Engelman, high snap.
Oh, boy,
he gets the ball, though, and he's going to be taken down right about the line of scrimmage.
And maybe half a yard of the gain there.
24 seconds. They're going to take another timeout here. I think it's her second timeout. Okay, so right now, ball spotted at about the 23-yard line. That would be at about a 40-yard field goal for Walker. With the wind, well, now I look up here and this wind is sporadic. I think they would like to get it at least a little bit closer here for him.
Here's a mild shocker. Elder trailing Coleraine 20-13. 4:09 left in the first half.
Wow. That game is on Spectrum TV statewide tonight. ICRC will be tomorrow night. Will be over at Reading. I unfortunately will not be able to do that game.
You and me both.
I have a wedding to go to, not my own, but been happily married for 49 years plus.
Well, you can just renew them next year. On 50, right?
There you go. But no, so I will not be there. But if Reading wins and they go on next week to play another home game, I will be available for that one. So.
Who's Reading have tomorrow?
Carlisle. And that's, it's number 4 against number 13 Seaman. Carlisle's got a good history of football there. And they won, I think they only won 3 games this year, but it's not an easy opponent.
Start getting up into Western Ohio. Some of those teams can surprise you a little.
Oh, that's right.
We've talked about that years past during the playoffs.
There's the catch. Oh, the little hook and ladder.
Nice decision.
Catch made by Rodney Harris, and then the give is to Bostic, Borden, and watch this. There you go. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Gives me another 4 or 5 yards. And now, with 17 seconds to go, let's see if he goes for the end zone on this one. He's got some room. He's looking. He's got a man in the end zone and caught by...
Off of one receiver and onto the other.
Is caught by T.J. Engelman for his second touchdown of the night.
And just look at the athletic ability on this throw. I mean, you talk about throwing on your back foot. I think he threw it on his back foot in the air. Watch this. Back foot in the air. Off the one receiver into the hands of the second.
Off one cousin into the other cousin, off Jaleel and into a TJ. Thank you very much.
Keep it in the family.
Kick is up and good by Walker.
It's a great kick.
And with 9 seconds to go, that is a big play for the Princeton Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely it is. That's the momentum you want to take into halftime. And for Walnut Hills, they've done a good job of containing in spots, but unfortunately, they got caught up in the hook and ladder on the play before, and then a little bit of luck and a fortuitous bounce on that one for the Vikings.
It's been all Lynn and TJ Engel tonight on 2 throws, 2 receptions. 7th touchdown pass of the season for Lynn, and the 2nd touchdown reception of the season and the game for TJ Engelman. So we have a 14-0 lead with 9 seconds to go.
Checking in on another one of our communities, Milford trailing Lebanon 7-0, 2 minutes left in the first half.
That's
that,
a good
course,
one.
A regular season rematch, and that was a close game in the regular season. The game played at Lebanon in the first meeting.
Do we have a Mount Healthy score by any chance?
I think they play tomorrow, right?
No, Mount Healthy, I think they played tonight.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, Mount Healthy plays Tippecanoe.
Take a look at our bracket there. I know I used to follow them on Twitter from when they played several years ago. See if I can dig that up.
Tip City, Tippecanoe.
It's 14-6, Tippecanoe. 5:34 in the second. That was about 20 minutes ago. Harvey Crouch.
And ball is kicked out of bounds. That's going to be a penalty. So tack on another 5 yards to get Walnut Hills started here. But with 8 seconds to go, I'm not sure right now. Coach Crooks just wants to take a knee and let's go to the locker room.
Get into halftime and start making some adjustments on the board.
Let's get into that warmth of the locker room, I should say, here tonight. We got a temperature here. Let me see what our temperature is.
It's got to be a cool 68 to 70 here in the press box. I'll tell you that. So I'm pretty comfortable.
56.
Oof. I think I'll stay here for a while.
Yeah, I know. Somebody asked me, I said I was doing a game tonight, and he said, "Oh, I feel sorry for you." I said, "Oh, no, I'm in the press box." But our great camera crew, our Aqua camera crew out here tonight is doing a great job out here.
Earning their flippers tonight.
We are bowing down to you as we speak right now. Both Josh and Dean in the truck. Takes 2 of them to watch us, isn't it? Keep an eye on us.
Yeah.
They're going to keep an eye on us. Nelson, over the middle, the ball's dropped.
We're going to say incomplete. Nelson's going to stop the clock with 4 seconds. Kind of a curious play call there.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I hope you can shake free, but he led him a little bit too far.
As Jack Samarco, the tight end, was his first reception of the night.
I think he's taking me here. I don't think he want to play, do you?
Well, they're looking like it.
I'm going to throw some tricks here at Princeton who adjust accordingly.
Usually you aren't in shotgun when you're taking a knee, so let's see. High snap, pass, over the middle, intercepted.
Right to him. Unfortunately,
he just
never had
telegraphed Chris Gillum.
Zion James. Excuse me, that was it the wrong sheet? That was Chris Gillum.
Chris Gillum. They telegraphed him, and that's a first interception tonight thrown by TJ Nelson, his 11th of the year. We go to halftime tonight. The Vikes are ahead 14-0. Glenn and I will talk a little bit more about the playoff picture and how things are going and give you some scores here when we come back here for second half. Don't go away.
Welcome to Viking Voices, the people of Princeton.
Here today, Hall of Fame students in a Hall of Fame school.
As always, go Vikes!
Welcome to another edition of Viking Voices, the people of Princeton. I certainly appreciate the great partnership with ICRC to host. And behind the cameras today, we have our amazing interns. So appreciate Dwayne and Cody again for coming back this year as they've done actually for the last 3 years. Last year looked a little bit different, but it's great to be back in person. With us today, our new football coach, Coach Andre Parker. Coach, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Coach, big switch coming over. What do you think about Vike Nation so far?
I think it's awesome. I think it's all about the P.
What are some specific things you're working on right now to develop that tradition? Bring kind of back some of the things. I know Coach Daniels did a great job and the other coaches, but previously, but like what are you trying to instill in our kids?
I am trying to teach them history. I think with this generation, a lot of times they don't understand history or where Princeton comes from and what Princeton means. So I'm trying to get as many of the old guys around as I can and help them understand what Princeton means, what the horns mean. So those things are exciting. The kids are starting to get it. They're starting to take pride in it.
Well, Coach, I know that there's a legendary coach out there that you've talked to, Coach Mancuso. So what are some nuggets that you've gleaned off some of the conversations you've had with Coach Mancuso?
Our first conversation, he wowed me. Because I know he's in his 90s, and he's like, no, Coach, I still work out 3-4 days a week. I get up early in the morning, me and my wife, we go get after it. And I'm like, wow. Just his work ethic, the attention to detail, the way his former players talk about him, the way they said that he cared and loved them. And I've talked to quite a few that still talk to him every week. So that's huge.
Yeah. Coach, we know that your job here, we've talked so much before. Like, I think you do a great job coaching. But there's a whole nother side. The vast majority of your day is another job. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So essentially, I'm a secondary support for the students at the high school and middle school. So what I've been doing in these first few weeks is really building relationships with the kids, getting them to trust me. So if they have issues or if there's any way that I can help them, that they know that my office is open and they can come to me. So we're currently going through lists and finding kids that we know we're going to need more support and going about it that way.
Yeah, and when we were talking, I asked lots of questions about what it is that you do during the course of the day. You've done a great job thus far. Really excited about the supports that you're going to bring to our school district and specifically our students. What are some things that you think our kids in general or students in general should really focus on as they try to look to the future?
I think just bettering themselves every day. I think we got enough craziness in the world, and if they get caught up into that, you can become depressed or you can start worrying about the future. I think we got to take it day by day, and we have to keep pressing forward.
Coach,
Well, last question. This is definitely my kryptonite. I don't know that I could work here as much as you girls are amazing, but what is your best seller? When people walk in here, what is it that they're really looking for? Is it your cookies, your donuts? What's the best seller?
I'd probably say donuts.
I would say donuts. That's a hard question.
Birthday cakes? No.
We have a lot of the cake because our cakes are scratch made here. Our buttercream icing is made here. I think we take a lot of. I just think we take a lot of pride in everything we make, and you know, our cakes, you have people all
And
the
it
time, the
bothers us if
flowers.
something's not right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we do, and anybody makes mistakes, and it bothers us. It's not like, oh, well, just, you know, it bothers us that somebody wasn't happy with
the product.
But I think the one thing people don't understand is how incredibly physically hard this job is in the back.
Lifting
It's very,
trays,
very
cooking,
hard.
pans, whatever it takes to get the job done. Yeah.
But it's what it is.
It is what it is, and
It's what it is.
it's a great thing that
At least
you
we're
girls,
working with family. I mean, there are times when we're, you know.
But I think we're lucky too, because we have a lot of the same, like, I can remember, because I do a lot of the cakes, and you talking about I remember you bringing your kids in here, and now your grandkids are coming. I do. I remember your son.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now I'll have a cake come through, like a graduation cake, and I'm thinking, oh my God.
They can't be graduating.
You know what I'm saying? So we have so many of it, like families.
Generations.
And then generations.
Yeah.
And we do see now, especially with Harrison building up as much as it is, we have a lot of new families, you know, from the newer homes of Perks of Whitewater, from, you know, we have a lot of newer families that come in a lot of times on the weekends, especially Saturday and Sundays. She doesn't work in the store on Sundays, so she would probably not know
the faces.
Yeah, but I see them and I'm like, hey, glad you guys came back. We have a lot of new faces too.
Yeah.
We really do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you know, the Harrison Chamber is going to be nominating different businesses for different categories.
Given up by the system 7 times, I let you twist me up and get me so out of line, but it's not enough. Just wanting something better. No, I should just be grateful for the things that I have. Hanging around, and I call it quits because all that I found is that I can't help falling in love, and I can't tell you what's enough. Well, I think that anyone could tear my heart to spill, and I know if they can, that they will. So now I'm sitting here in my basement again, just thinking about how this next one's going to end. And for me to know, and it's not for you to care. I know it's not that tough, but it still ain't fair. I can't help falling in love. I can't tell you what's enough. Well, I know that anyone could tear my heart to spill. And I know if they can, if they can, if they can, they will.
Angela Bazari-Flugrath. Angela Bazari-Flugrath was a member of the 2006 graduating class. Angela Flugrath left her mark on Mason as the most decorated athlete in the school's history. She earned 8 varsity letters between cross country and track, helping Mason to its first ever team state title in girls track and field in 2004. Angela was an 11-time FAVC champion, a 13-time district champion, 12-time regional champion, and an 8-time state champion. I'll say it again, 8-time state champion. That's pretty good. She earned 7 of her 8 state titles in individual running events, with 2 coming from cross country. She was named FAVC Runner of the Year 5 times, Southwest Ohio Runner of the Year 4 times, and First Time All-Ohio 7 times. She held 7 Mason High School records and 3 Greater Cincinnati records upon graduation. Today, the best runners in the state of Ohio come to Mason Invite to participate in the Bazari Mile, an annual running event held in her honor. After high school, Angela went on to the University of Illinois, where she became a 3-time NCAA Division I champion and 9-time All-American. She held 7 records for the Illini and was inducted into the Illinois Hall of Fame in 2019. Today, Angela lives out west in Fresno, California, with her husband, Carl. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bazari, are here tonight. Angela could not be with us tonight, but we have her on video. Here's Angela.
I want to start off by taking the time to say how honored I feel to be inducted into the Mason High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I am particularly honored to be inducted with such an amazing group of people and athletes, one of whom was my teammate. This award has me reflecting on my time as an athlete, specifically at Mason. I played sports for a long time. I played in high school, collegiately, and professionally, and some of my best memories are from my time at Mason High School. I don't always remember specifically my times at Mason or the specific races. It really went by so fast. But what I do remember are the fun times with amazing people. I remember summer long runs with friends, afterward having bagels and chatting. I remember the long bus rides after successful meet, full of laughter. I remember the 4x800 winning as a team. I think sport was really helpful for me to gain confidence in myself. I was shy as a high schooler and still particularly kind of quiet. And sports taught me that I can set a big goal and take small daily steps to get there. I really fell in love with sports at Mason High School, and confidence in myself grew. And I will forever be proud to be a Mason High School graduate and a Comet. I wanted to take a second to thank some of those people who made my time at Mason such a positive experience, some of whom are here today. They include both Kelly and Tony Affatato for their continual support and enthusiasm. They really helped make track and field such a positive experience for me. All the fun I had with my teammates, it couldn't be done without them. And then finally, I wanted to spend the time thanking my parents for being supportive in both athletics and life. Again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for inducting me into the Hall of Fame with such an amazing group of people. Go Comets!
Let's hear one more round of applause for all of our inductees.
Looking forward to walking the park.
Yeah, it should be a fun day.
So Ted, right now we are standing inside the park where we will have several gateways, one being at 5 Points at Main and Lila, and a couple on either Main Street and on the Lila side.
Yeah.
And it'll be this great green area where people can come in and just enjoy the day.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be meandering paths with tree line that will provide shade. And also there's swings and Adirondack chairs.
And I think somewhere in this area there's going to be the water feature as well, which you've mentioned before. What a great draw that'll be for both the community and people outside the community, and really a crown jewel for the city itself.
Yeah.
And then in addition to the community involvement or people being able to visit locally, this is the center of both the downtown business district as well as the uptown business district. So whether you want to come here as a family or you just want to take a lunch break when you're working here, it's going to be a great place to come.
And it is also part of the Dora, right? So people can grab their beverage at one of the local establishments here and have a really great setting to hang out in and relax as they're making their way either downtown or uptown.
Yep. It'll be great.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
We scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that? Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On air or online. This is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. There's just one place where a team is more than a group of individual agendas. It's a catalyst for demonstrating the potential of the collaborative spirit. There's just one place where players, coaches, and fans experience the exhilaration that happens when an entire community rallies behind the school team. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. In addition, high school sports help young people in Ohio develop the discipline and confidence they need to be leaders in life, even as they unite communities like nothing else. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
And Bill Bretz, Glenn Ilson back here at Pat Mancuso Field at Jake Sweeney Stadium, where the Vikings are up 14-0 at halftime. And some interesting stats there, Glenn.
Well, let's take a look at our
we'll
two first-half touchdowns. T.J. Engelman hauls in 16 yards from Mekhi Lynn. Kick was good, and then a little later on, Engelman again an 11-yard pass off of a deflection from his cousin from Lynn also. Both extra points were good. That gets us to 14-0.
Jaleel's saying, I get 3 of those 6 points.
As far as the stats, it's about as you would expect with one exception. Total offense for the Walnut Hills Eagles, 26 plays for 37 yards. For the Princeton Vikings, 35 plays for 253 yards. But a surprisingly close time of possession stat, 10:51 for Walnut Hills, Princeton 13-13. So Walnut Hills is hanging onto the football. Obviously, they can't do a whole lot with it in terms of scoring.
Right.
If they can change that, dig into their bag of tricks here in the second half, we might get us a closer contest.
They only have 4 first downs. Princeton has 13. So that's where we stand right now. As far as the scores go here in the brackets here, Moeller is up over Oak Hills. That's no surprise to anybody. The Fairfield-Mason game, that's a close one. And, 8-9 you figured it would be. But right. Fairfield's up 21-14 on that one. Of course, we know this one's 14-0. I think the big upset right now seems to be Sycamore and Lakota East, because Aves are up over Lakota East in that game by a couple of scores. St. Xavier is winning handily over Hamilton. Here's another upset here at halftime, 2020, Elder and Coleraine. How about playing in the pit there?
Right.
That's something else.
But that's bonkers tonight.
Lakota West up big over West Claremont. That's not too surprising. And Lebanon, 7-0 lead over Milford. That game's close. So we expected some more of these big blowouts here. LaSalle is up over Harrison 28-7, another ICRC game. And Indian Hill is down 12-0 to Milton Union. And with an ICRC game. Of course, a lot of our Division 5 teams play tomorrow night with Division 5, 6, and 7. And the number 1 Division 2 team in the state, the Kings Knights, they're having some issues here tonight, 14-6 over Lima Senior. So, and we see Coach Parker down there talking on the sidelines here with
Of course, Walnut Hills won the toss and deferred, Bill. So
they get it.
They get the football coming out of the half, and we'll see what sort of adjustments the Eagles have been able to make in the old locker room.
We'll have those playback times at the end of this quarter here. If you want to be a volunteer, if you can swim, so, or you like it in the rain.
If you're a duck.
Oh, come on. Football's almost over, but basketball's coming. So, but anyway, we do need volunteers, and there we go. We need you. You can go to ICRC-TV.com, get a hold of our main man, Jason Dudley, who's comfortably sitting in a chair someplace watching the game tonight. Jason, good to see you here. As Dean and Josh are both out here tonight in the truck. So, and I'm assuming that both of you are going to be at Reading tomorrow. So, just Dean. Dean's got a 2-night job here, so.
He lost the coin flip or the rock, paper, scissors.
There you go. Cole Walker kicking off now here to begin this third quarter.
Out of bounds.
And
stay
stay at the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
And that was Bostic, I believe. Yeah, Bostic picked it up there. He was looking for it to go out of bounds.
He
But
really thought it was going to go out of bounds and get the illegal procedure penalty, but the football gods were not with him.
So the Eagles will go to work at their 14-yard line, deep in their own territory to start this third quarter. It's a very similar situation. Last week, Coleraine had the ball in the third quarter, and Princeton stopped them and got the ball back here. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
Nice.
Some adjustments in effect.
Interesting that we see Mike Lynn down here in the sideline with the trainers.
Well, that last play there.
And that's intercepted. Second straight interception thrown by Nelson.
That almost looked like the last interception.
And that's a touchdown. We're going to try to catch the number. He's running so fast we couldn't see the number here. 13. That would be
Raheem Warren.
Raheem Warren was not a starter at the beginning of the season. He came in for an injured player, started the last couple of games, but Warren gets the pick here. And this is something that I'm so sure Coach Crook did not want to see.
Yeah, Nelson's going to have to do a better job with his eyes. Princeton knows exactly where the football's going, and perhaps that's just a youthful mistake by the sophomore, but can't give up easy interceptions like that, especially when they go back to the house. And the extra point is good.
And we're going to have a roughing kicker. Cole Walker's kick is good, but flag was thrown right after that as Walker went down, so that's going to be a roughing the kicker. So it's personal foul that's going to be assessed on the kickoff here. The PAT was good here. 11:45 to go in the third quarter. We're going to see this again. This pick, we're trying to see how many yards it was right there. It looked like he picked it up about the 34-yard line, so we're going to give him 34 yards for Warren on the kickoff. Interception return. So Warren is a senior, 5'9", 155-pound senior. I'm going to say right off the bat here, Glenn, that's probably his first touchdown that he got as a varsity player. So, you don't get that many on defense. But congratulations, Mr. Warren, on the interception return. Vikes up now 21-0 here to start this third quarter. So Bostic is back again about his 11-yard line. See if Cole Walker can pin him back again.
The often heard of but not seen kickoff from the 45-yard line, huh?
Yeah.
Of your opponent's 45.
Yeah. This could go in the end zone. Let's see. Nope.
Nice angle.
Nice angle, and it does go out.
It goes out that time.
Well, you put the penalty in and everything. The kickoff was about 15 yards or so, 15, 20 yards when you throw the penalty in. But
that's good product placement of that cat excavator, guys. Thanks for that. Beautiful shot of that. Sometimes you think we're still.
No, I don't think that. I haven't thought that.
Some of us, yeah.
I haven't thought that in 18 years.
Some of us still have an alarm clock. Right?
Alarm clock. That's excellent. No, I have a Jack Russell Terrier who's a nice alarm clock. So
we have two that aren't so nice alarm clocks.
Yeah,
they wake you up when you don't want to wake up.
They don't.
Well, they wake my wife up.
They don't understand the concept of retirement.
We have those little tablets you can give them in there.
Nelson back shotgun, and the give is to Breel.
Maybe half a yard.
Yeah.
Good second effort to get that half a yard, but maybe half a yard.
He had a Princeton Viking hanging on to him, so they gave him 1 full yard, so it's 2nd and 9.
Kind of overload the short side here, Bill.
Nelson's going to keep it himself. Yeah, he's brought down in the backfield. And we got a penalty coming up.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, but that just took entirely too long to develop. Not a fan of running that to the short side of the field either.
Jalen Stoker was in on the tackle, but a flag was thrown in the area that is probably going to be a hold call.
There was, right there in the middle of your screen. Looked like, no, missed it. But it was right there. You saw it. He had a handful of jerseys.
Push it back a little bit further. Actually,
3rd and 11.
I think Princeton declined the penalty.
Yeah, they did. They'll take the 3rd.
Yeah, they'll take the 3rd down.
No one that's going to overload the wide side of the field.
3 receivers and
hurry up and get set. Play clock down to 5.
Rush. And out of Bostic again.
Oh my goodness! And
Bostic's hit, and he's hit after the play is over with. They're going to call a.
He's slow to get up. Look, he's hurt. He's holding that right shoulder, unfortunately.
Powell hit him, and according to the official, the play was basically over with. So that's going to be 15 yards.
Yeah, the ball hits the ground, and then he takes 2 or 3 steps. And unfortunately, it appears he injured the young man.
And Powell is upset himself out here. You know, he did something wrong, and he's really upset. I think it's nice here. Coach that went out there, gave him a hug, told him, hey, keep your head up. Let's see what happens.
Why don't we step away for a break while we're having the injury timeout here?
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So we'll be back just in a moment, so don't go away.
We scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
On air or online. This is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
And we see Mr. Bostic going off the field there. At least he's walking off, Glenn. That's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, but that left shoulder very, very tender. So it's almost like, I'm sorry to cut you off, when he got hit in the arm, it jammed the shoulder inward, if that makes sense. So keep an eye on him to see if he's able to get back on the field.
They lost a couple of key players tonight. They lost Israel Bradford early in the game, and now Bostic over on the sideline.
You know what I'd really like to see Walnut Hills do is take a shot down the sideline. You know, they've been throwing the ball in the middle of the field. See if you can get one-on-one coverage on the sideline and throw one over there. It's the middle of the field, Princeton's owning it.
The give is to Briel. Briel's been waiting her flag coming in. This one thrown from the back judge. Personal foul on Walnut Hills. Wow.
And we've got it here thanks to our eagle-eyed crew in the truck. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
And they're pushing back, and the flag comes in, and 15 yards.
Yeah, that's
Walnut Hills is shooting themselves in the foot.
John Jameson needs to not do that. Your team's struggling as it is without putting 15 yards deeper in the hole on top of it.
Nelson's going to take it himself around the left side.
That should be one.
That's
there
going to be
is.
Yep, that's going to be one on Princeton now.
Boy, it's gotten chippy here in the first 4 minutes and 38 seconds.
Nelson got knocked all the way over by the track. It's a good thing, you know, the benches are pushed back right there, Glenn.
Yes.
It's a good thing that bench wasn't up because he would have hit the bench.
Well, no need for it. You know, you've got a comfortable lead, let's say 21-0, and There's no need for it.
You kind of go back to the beginning of the game, what Coach Parker said. He wanted to play a clean game.
Right.
You know, and you need to. I mean, they're winning right now. But, you know, down the road here, you're going to have some very close games coming up here in the playoffs, and you don't need to have those kind of penalties.
I guarantee you this is potentially the only week where those 15 yards may be rather insignificant. Because the rest of the tournament, they're going to be hard to come by.
You see where that bench was. Would have gone into that bench.
Great observation.
Well, they lost 15 to gain it back. And we still have second down.
They're officially into Vikings territory. The ball on the Princeton 49.
One thing about it is the rain has stopped.
Yes. Didn't bring the fans out though, did it? They're home watching us.
Yeah. So a couple of dead ball fouls in a row here, and we're right back to where we basically started this play, third down.
Let's hope for a cleaner game throughout. We don't need this.
Eagles changing it up. Nelson.
Pressure.
Gives it Burrow. Burrow will pick up about 2 or 3 yards. And before he is wrapped up by a host of Vikings.
Bill, I'm not a coach, and I didn't stay at Holiday Inn last night, but on 3rd and long, why do you run up the middle? Again, the Vikings are owning the middle of the field. It doesn't matter if it's in the ground game or through the air. I just don't understand that play call. Your offensive line has struggled. I just don't understand that. I mean, the game is still manageable. It's going to be tough, but it's manageable. Now you have to turn the ball.
Milo is back. The punt. He's standing about his 40-yard line. Back at the 20-yard line is Engelman. A high snap. And a line drive caught by Engelman. He's got some running room. 50 into Eagles territory down about the 48-yard line.
You may as well have ran a play because the ball's almost right back to where you snapped it from. Right?
That's true.
I mean, I don't get that. I don't get that. If you're going to do that, and I'm still convinced Princeton's going to get a punt tonight, deflect one, or block one.
Yeah.
Just run a play. I mean, you gave him +5 there. +6.
Yep.
You were at the 49. Now it's just across the 45. I don't know.
33-yard punt return from T.J. Engelman. Lynn. And the give is to Engelman.
Flag.
We got flag. This is going to be coming back.
Great play, but can't hold on it.
T.J. Engelman got inside the 20, inside the 15, but this one's going to be brought back.
And our referee, Dave Campbell, already gave the indication for the hold, and he threw that flag about 15 yards. It's right there at the line of scrimmage. And there you see the official indication by Mr. Campbell.
Dave Campbell, great official. I work with Dave with track and field. And I was telling you before the game tonight, if he didn't have to have that official's uniform on tonight, he'd be in shorts. Doesn't matter what the weather is. Dave wears shorts.
He's that guy,
track.
huh?
Yeah,
He's that
you
guy.
can wear shorts and track, you know, as part of the uniform in track. But that's the way Mr. Dave Campbell is. Great official of track and field and football. Right now, you got to be a good official to be in the playoffs here too.
You get voted on by the coaches.
That's right. We got a timeout, and I think the timeout was called, I believe, by the Eagles. So next week, Princeton, if they win, will be hosting either Sycamore or Lakota East here. If Walnut Hills pulls this out, those will be on the road at either Lakota East or Sycamore. That's the way it goes right now in the playoffs. And I like the idea where you see like that. I like the idea of expanding. I've talked about this for years about expanding the playoffs to 16.
I'm glad you bring it up, okay? Because here's Sycamore up 19-0, we're told. Here's my bone of contention with it. Why would you leave one team out? If you're going to open it up, put them all in. Give your number one seed a bye and figure it out.
I think one of the things with the interesting thing about Division I is it's just super big schools. There's only 17 schools in the division. I mean, most of the state, it's only 17 or 18.
Right.
And the other divisions have, 20, 22, 24 teams in it. So I don't know. I mean, do you think about maybe not making as many teams in Division I, maybe 12 teams or something? But then you got an odd, odd set for the playoffs. You got somebody who's going to have bye weeks first week. But
in this era where we, as a society, are overly consumed by feelings, why would you want to single that one team out? Now, athletically, you got to earn your way in. I understand that, but leaving one team out just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Just do it like Kentucky, put them all in. Unfortunately, you're going to get the lambs to the slaughter effect, but don't leave one team out.
And I talked to a couple of people this week. They're thinking about, why don't you do it like basketball, where you have your seeds, but then the coaches get together, and the first seed goes in, he puts his name wherever.
Right.
You might not be making a 16 seed and a 1 seed playing.
And Bill, I agree with you guys. If you can throw the seeding graphic back up, or the bracket back up, we talked about Lakota East and Sycamore, right? And that game's very close tonight, but looking at the seeding, it makes no sense. But earlier in the year, it was a close game.
Yeah. Nice open field tackle made by number 6.
So
Williams.
Yeah, there you see a 5-12 game that's very close. It was close in the regular season. So, bring the subjective element back into it if you're going to do it that way.
You got a 7-10 game is close, too.
Right. Yep. A 6-11 game.
6-11 game, right.
Yeah. So, I think you and I are somewhat aligned on a lot of that. I just don't like the idea of leaving the one team out.
2nd and 15 now for the Vikes. High snap. Engelman's going to take the ball and dragging a bunch of Eagles with him into Eagles territory down to that 40. It's going to set up now a 3rd and 5.
Makes you wonder if it wasn't a high snap, how much more he would have got besides the 10 he picked up.
Yeah. Clock is ticking down to 8:15 to go here in this quarter. If that other game stands this way and this one stays this way, there'll be 2 GMC teams meeting again next week.
Not a surprise.
Engelman, first down and more.
Holy
inside the 20 down to about the 16-yard line. 24-yard run.
Now you know why. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the GMC, even only getting 8 starts. Just an amazing athlete. He looks natural at that position.
You're thinking about back during the regular season, these two teams met just about 3 weeks ago on the 8th, and Princeton won the game 42-20. Steele now with the carry. He's in the game.
Isn't it amazing at the high school level the impact a coach can have on a team?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, Andre Parker has come over here and righted this ship pretty quickly in his first year, and they're a force to be reckoned with in this tournament this year.
Well, I got another, well, after this play, I'll tell you about another example of a coach that's done that.
High school and college, it's amazing the difference a coach can make to me. It really is.
Lynn throws, end zone.
Easy.
He's got Rodney Harris.
Easy peasy.
For 16 yards. Rodney's 11th touchdown of the year. And Lynn, his third TD thrown tonight.
So that was Lynn back in. Rodney Harris Jr. Somewhat leaping grab right on the end in the end zone.
Leading receiver in yards in the GMC for the regular season. Kick is up. Drilled it right down the middle there for Cole Walker. He's 4 for 4 tonight. And with 7:13 to go here in the third quarter, Princeton now is starting to turn this into a rout. Another coach I think has done a good job is Pat McLaughlin.
Yes.
Pat McLaughlin came to Reading. Reading had struggled for a few years. He got him into the playoffs. Then he came over to Princeton here for a year, got them a winning record, and then he went back to LaSalle.
Should have been in the playoffs.
Should have been in the playoffs, yeah.
It was the whole cheating controversy that blocked them out.
They had a problem there. But then...
Not they weren't cheating. Another team cheated, and it cost them Harvard points.
Right,
go ahead.
Right. And then he goes over to LaSalle, and what does he do? He wins the state championship over there, and they're up again in the playoffs tonight and moving ahead there in Division II. So he's another impact coach.
Yeah. It's you know, you can argue the coaches with staying power in the NFL like a Bill Belichick, but he seems to be struggling without Tom Brady. a little bit, right? But, you know, you look at Urban Meyer coming into Ohio State and turning them around right away. He's definitely not turned Jacksonville around.
And it's a little bit different when you get to the pros.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just you can have that impact in high school, especially, and even in college to a certain extent.
Urban's finding out the hard way. It's not going to be like that. So
I think he had a pretty good gig working the old big noon kickoff set.
That's true.
Anyway,
one of Pat McLaughlin's assistants at Reading was Cody Reardon, who followed him to Princeton and then followed him to LaSalle and came back to Reading. And Cody Reardon's got the Blue Devils in the playoffs.
Well, we got some extracurriculars over here around the 40. I'm surprised we didn't get a flag.
All right, now I'm thinking these officials are going to say, let's let these guys just play this thing out right now.
They just be pessimistic and say they want to get it to 35 and get the running clock going.
7:13 to go here in the third quarter. One more score, and it will go to a running clock unless that score comes from Walnut Hills. Walnut Hills down two of their big people right now, though. Bradford is out, and I believe, is Bostic still out?
I believe so.
I think he is out, too. Burrow is still in as running back next to Nelson. Give us a Burrow. Burrow is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. He gets up to about the 20-yard line.
Bostic was split out to the top of the formation. He's standing around the 19-yard line right now.
All right. So
but they're definitely not throwing his way.
No.
If he wants to run, you know, crossing right in the middle of the field, he might get a chance to catch a ball.
He took a lick, and you know, those are things you might remember here. You know that. You know, last time I got that ball. Second, I'm going to say about a long 9. And he is really pressured hard and pushed down. It's a knockdown.
Another throw in the middle of the field.
Yep. There's nobody there that time. That's because most of the Princeton Vikings were in the backfield. They put the pressure on him so much, they didn't have to have anybody back.
All right, you're 7 points from a running clock. Wouldn't you think you'd want to run a sideline route if it's there, just to step out of bounds and keep the clock? Give yourself as much time as possible.
3rd and 9. Looks like Cooper in the backfield. There's a catch and there's a trip. There, no pass interference.
Both were playing for the ball.
Israel was the intended receiver.
So you had 3 to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. You go for the one-on-one coverage. Not bad, but just overthrew them. And both playing for the ball, so no penalty.
And Walnut Hills going to be punting deep in their territory. Was Engelman standing about the 46-yard line.
47, yeah. Let's see if Princeton can get one. Boy, they're trying.
And there you go.
There it is.
You called it.
It was bound to happen sooner or later tonight. Now the Walnut Hills punter's down injured.
Yeah, that punter is Alex.
I hate to say it, it was just a matter of time, Bill. Just a matter of time.
This wasn't even close.
And high snap, missed the block. Oh, he got blocked into him, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Oof.
That ball never got more than a foot or two above the ground.
He got it right in the shin, I think. Not good. On his kicking leg, too, I believe.
Princeton's going to take the ball over to the 17-yard line. You know, we did not. We're still in the third quarter. I was going to say, we did not run back to playback times. We're still
it's just been a long third quarter.
It's a long third quarter.
That was Caleb Clark Glover with the recovery on the block punt, by the way, number 22. Extra guys in the truck for catching that for us.
So the punter comes off the field.
You know it's a bad day when your punter gets hurt, right?
Yep.
Not to be flip about an injury, but bad day when your punter gets hurt. That's when you know your offensive line is having some issues.
Well, one of their backup kickers here is Caitlin Carr, sophomore. She has already 1 for 1 in PATs this year, and I don't know if we'll see her coming in anytime soon. Princeton 28-0 lead, trying to go the 10-1 on the season. We'll check back and see if when was the last time the Vikings had a 10-win season. And the give is to T.J. Engelman not on the ball. Princeton's last 10-win season, I don't have on my list here. I only go back to 2012. And so it was before 2012 was the last time they had a 10-win season. This is their 3rd straight winning season.
Mike Daniels laid a good foundation here before heading to the college ranks, but Andre Parker's really upped the game, I think it's fair to say, Bill.
Yep. There's a fumble and
penalty. Oh no, but just wow, it didn't even look like Princeton made much of an effort to get after that.
No, they didn't. OHSAA Williams,
maybe there was some confusion.
Leading tackler in the ECC, recovered the fumble.
Probably saved the running clock.
Yeah, you're right.
Boy, that just was not a good hand. I don't think the running back was expecting to get that ball. That's the way it looked to me. Now it hits you in the gut. You think you might want to grab onto it. I don't know. But.
All right. Williams with the recovery. Walnut Hills with the ball.
Deep in their own territory from about their 17.
Interesting formation now. The give is to number 2, Cooper. Cole Cooper.
Interesting play call, because for that to work, your offensive line has to get a good push, and that's been an issue for the Eagles tonight.
Interesting formation they had there too. 3 receivers to the right.
Right. Yep, good point.
Get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it. Nelson pass. Oh, broken up. Almost intercepted by the Vikings.
Flirting with disaster. Well, they need to get a first down here, because I don't think they want to punt.
No.
For several reasons. But they need to find a way to convert here. Throwing it in the middle of the field, as I've said 4 times now, I believe, is not the answer.
3rd and 10.
Okay, this will be interesting.
Another high snap over the ball and overthrows Bostic. He drilled that ball. Bostic and Cooper were both there, but went by both of them, and it's 4th down. And they're bringing a punt team on.
Indeed they are.
T.J. Engelman takes his usual spot around the 45, 46-yard line. It's been hanging around that area a lot tonight on punt returns.
Yeah. Milo back to punt again.
He's in. High snap. And
another deflection.
I'm deflected, you're right. But boy, I tell you, it's the deflections, he gets nice rolls.
Yeah.
That's 36 yards on the punt on roll, so on a deflected punt, still gives the Vikings good field position.
Yeah, boy, just blocking an issue for Walnut Hills tonight, offensively and special teams wise. It goes without saying.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a surprise with a 28-0 score. But
yeah,
credit to him for coming back in after the injury, because it looked like he took that shoulder pad right into the shin from the previous punt.
So now, Lynn.
Walnut showing blitz.
And the give is the board, and gets back maybe the line of scrimmage. Right now, I think Lynn's just going to be content to run some of that clock out.
Yes. Hand it off, drain the clock, drain the play clock. Or you hurry up and get in the end zone and get the running clock, which could be the strategy
of course,
here.
And we're going to have a pass interference.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Rodney Harris.
Well,
that was Cooper on Harris. He was all over Harris before he got there.
Can't hardly blame him for that one, because if he didn't, it was going to the house.
Yeah. Well, just when we say he was going to keep it on the ground, he's not listening to us. Okay.
No, probably smart on that.
He wants to get that running clock there.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like, we'll run it once just to see if you're paying attention, but then, yeah, we're going to try to put one in the end zone. So it'll be a gain of 15. Yeah, if he doesn't interfere, then that one's going to the house, I think.
Ball on the 39-yard line.
Uh-oh, another boy, we were having
fumble.
some issue, and Walnut recovers.
Yeah, another fumble recovery.
What is going on this quarterback-running back exchange? They cannot get on the same sheet of music.
So it was covered by number 21 or number 40?
I think it was 40,
Milo with the cover. So 2 fumbles now in this half. And these are things that I'm sure Coach Parker does not want to see coming down the road here.
Yeah, you got to fix that with a sledgehammer in practice this week. You can't go into next week's matchup if you survive tonight, that is. Take a look here. They look disconnected, like they're not expecting it or something.
Yeah, and I don't quite understand. It's Linda Borden. I mean, it's not like you got somebody different in there.
It's not the first time you've done it this season.
No.
Maybe they read different things defensively, and he thought Lynn was going to keep it.
It's one thing about being careful, but being too careful. And Walnut Hills is going to be forced to call a timeout. So they have 1 timeout left with 4:07 to go. We still are going to run back to those playback times. Maybe by the time we run back to those playback times, we'll be doing the playbacks. But
video board here.
Yeah. Pat Mancuso Field. And we said about Pat, Pat, I had some stats on him. I didn't bring my stats with him on Pat, but
there's your replay schedule for our Spectrum.
There we go. Okay, we're going to do a replay now. Friday the 30th, 5 p.m. 31st, 4:30 p.m. Wednesday the 3rd at 8 p.m. and you can have a little brunch with Glenn and I on Thursday the 4th at 10 a.m.
Halloween action at 4:30 there after the Bengals game and before trick or treat.
There you go. There you go. It is Halloween weekend.
It's odd to be in the playoffs the last weekend in October. Normally this is week 10 of the regular season.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know what's harder to get used to, that or 17 games in the NFL regular season this year.
High snap. Burrow going nowhere.
Well, if we had $1 for every time we said high snap tonight, you and I could have left this game halftime and went to Jeff Rubens.
I know, really.
It's been both teams.
Burrow's been a workhorse tonight. He came in for Bradford, who was hurt earlier in the game. He has been in just about every play since that time.
We do need to give a shout out to our ICRC-TV communities. These HD pictures we've been able to bring you since converting to HD a few years ago are just absolutely amazing.
They're coming now. And taken down for a loss.
Too easy.
And I think that was by third team. It was by Warren.
And you can see him coming off the left end here. Right place, right time. It's 15.
15.
But yeah. Blocker went left, he went right, and right at the runner.
Nas Lukeman, as we said, leads GMC in sacks with 9. Doesn't have a sack tonight, but he has at least 3 or 4 tackles for losses.
3rd and 13. Walnut Hills has just not been able to get any offensive consistency tonight.
Well, they're going to get sacked there. And there we go. There's Nas. And there he gets his 10th sack of the season. So 4th down.
Yep.
This
Here
was
it comes. There it is. Catch that one, guys.
Yeah.
Sword celebration.
High snap, kick, quick kick. Yeah, he got that one off. Got a good.
Well, you know, when Vikings bounce though.
When he gets the kicks off good, they don't give him bounce for him.
Get the good bounce, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs that deflection to tip the ball the other way.
There you go. So Princeton takes over here. 1:52 to go here in quarter number 3. Hanging on to a 28-0 lead. Trying to move on here in the playoffs.
Well, I guess give Walnut Hills credit. We really thought we'd have a running clock by now, but Princeton with a lot of self-induced mistakes with the exchanges between the quarterback and the running back may have contributed to that.
Princeton last year won their first round game against Oak Hills 55-0. They came back. They did lose to Elder in the second round 26-21.
Always tough when you get the Panthers in the playoffs.
Engelman, and he somehow finds a way to get out of trouble. He was going to get caught down the backfield.
Yeah, turned about a 4-yard loss into a 1-yard game.
Yeah.
It's a little ginger there, doesn't it?
Yeah. You got Engelman in there. Steele's coming off the field right now. I was going to say he had essentially 3 running backs in there, although Engelman does play receiver. And we have a flag on the play here, so we have a Lynn to Jaleel Engelman. And I think it's going to come back. That's what Dave Campbell calls down here, consulting with his other officials. And he's pointing the other direction there. The Princeton doesn't want to see him point.
Well, we had a relatively clean first half. Another sideline warning for the Vikings. What do you get, 1.5 until they start taking yards?
So. I thought you only get 1 a game, but
no, that's 2. Well, now they are moving the football forward, so yeah.
Yeah, they had it earlier, and now I guess you get 1 warning and then
give up some yardage.
It's going to be interesting when you get your third quarter stats and where the penalties stand now.
Yeah. It was an ugly quarter in that regard, that's for sure, Bill.
An ugly long quarter.
Yes. Very much so.
Now, is that a 10-yard penalty or 5 yards?
Subject to debate on the field and debate here with our colleagues in the press box.
Well, it looks like
it's going to go back to the 36 now.
Okay. Looked like it'd be 5 yards. I guess it was 5 yards.
Almost a minute to go in quarter number 3.
Screen pass.
Nice play.
Screen pass is Jaleel Engelman was the receiver.
I don't know if you heard our coaches next door to us here in the next booth over. You got to block somebody. That's very true.
Yeah, these, you know, they're winning right now, but I don't think this coaching staff's real happy over here in this Princeton sideline right now.
It shouldn't be. I wouldn't think so.
There's a lot of miscues.
Not a clean game that Coach Parker had hoped for, right?
Right.
Walnut showing blitz.
This time, though, it's Lynn. He takes the ball, and he has brought down. Nice open field tackle made by Kenneth Gaines.
Advances it up to the 47 of Walnut Hills, and that'll be a first down. I'm getting him for the PA.
Well, I was going to say, you never miss Viking first downs when you're in the press box here.
Love the
I
energy.
know.
Love the energy. You know, when you read the rule book, they say you're supposed to be pretty neutral, but I think there's some latitude in that.
I think so. And we have come to the end of the third quarter with the Vikings up 28-0. We are going to go to a break right now. We're going to be coming back for a fourth quarter. Don't go away, 28-0, the Vikes.
ICRC-TV Sports. That's going to be a ball game. Princeton takes the match. Shot, goal! Brings a tackle at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings!
Welcome to Viking Voices, the people of Princeton. Here today, Hall of Fame students in a Hall of Fame school. As always, go Vikes!
All right, Bill Bretz, Glenn Ellison back here. Again, we're going to look at the stats here, but first, Glenn has brought up some of the scores here and a couple of interesting scores.
Oak Hills falls to Moeller 35-14. Fairfield up 28-21 over the Mason Comets. Sycamore 19, Lakota East, and that one is about to go final. Shelby Dermer at the Inquirer said they were in victory formation. St. Xavier big over Hamilton. Elder by 7 over Coleraine. Lebanon and Princeton tied at 7. So there you see Moeller advances, Sycamore advances, Princeton trying to set up that GMC matchup with the Aves.
That will be next week here at Pat Mancuso Field if the score stays the way it is right now.
Boy, Elder's good, but you got to think either Fairfield or Mason would be a good game against Moeller next week. Huh?
There's Lim with the with the pass and the catch. It's incomplete to Rodney Harris, but what a throw.
So, Bill, we did get the halftime stats courtesy of our stats crew here at Princeton High School. Thank you very much. 7 penalties for 80 yards for Walnut Hills, 9 for 95 for the Vikings.
Can't have that.
Time of possession still somewhat even, shockingly. 17-20 for Walnut, 18-40 for Princeton. But the offensive yards is the tail of the tape. 34 for Walnut Hills, 326 for the Vikes.
And as far as takeaways go, Princeton has lost it 3 times?
Princeton's lost it 3 times.
Maybe 4 times.
2 interceptions. Oh, no, it's 2
and it's another fumble, and it's another recovery.
Goodness. That's 4. What is going on with the Vikings and the ball control, the ball security, Bill?
Avery Wyatt with the recovery, I'm not sure. And like I said, we're not talking about, second stringers coming in or anything. We're talking about these guys have been playing together here for 10 weeks.
Was Lynn going to pull that one back out and keep it?
I don't know.
That's what it looked like to me. Looked like he was trying to pull it out and keep it and didn't, maybe waited too late, I think is the right thing to say.
Well, they have given the Eagles fairly good field position here. Or no, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, fairly good field position at the 44-yard line. But
one other final I missed, Bill. Lakota West 49, West Claremont 14. Again, not unexpected there, unfortunately for Wolves fans.
And catch. Oh.
Yes.
Did he make it? Yes. Nice extension of the arms there. Number 17, Jack Samarco, the tight end. Watch this. He reached for it and grabbed it in. Nice.
Second effort, yeah.
Nice effort there by Jack Samarco. He only picked up 3 yards for it, but.
Well, but not to be a smart aleck, that's one of the few pass plays that hasn't been in the middle of the field tonight.
Yeah, it's true.
For the Walnut Hills Eagles. I'm going to go the other way on the screen.
Cooper, 50, down at about the 47, 48-yard line, picked up about 6 on that play.
Gets into Vikings territory. This could be a manageable 3rd and 2, right? Or was that 3rd?
No, 3rd and 2.
3rd and 3, maybe. Nope, 3rd and 2. Maybe a long 2, but it's 2. Run up the middle. The offensive line does their job. Sorry.
That's Burrow. They do a good job, and Burrow makes it all the way down to about the 22-yard line, 26-yard run.
I think you can say that's arguably one of the best blocking jobs the Walnut Hills offensive line has done tonight.
It's not the world's biggest line, but they do a good job. Move the sticks now, first down. Nelson changing up the play. 9 seconds left on the play clock. So he looks in screen pass over the middle. Bostic. Oh, Bostic is hit hard and dropped the ball.
Oh, and he's hurt again. Well, he's already got that shoulder. This time it's the right hand he's holding the fingers on. Looks like he might have got a face mask right on the hand, perhaps.
I think it was a PAL. No, it was number 35 for the Stoker.
That was the rain earlier in the game, right, guys?
Yeah.
That's now?
That's not deja vu. Yeah, I see the umbrellas up here, so rain has returned.
I guess the glare of the press box lights here got me. Sorry about that.
Nelson struggling, and he's going to be brought down.
It's too bad.
Big loss. Down to out to about the 32, 33-yard line. Humphrey Grayson on that. Not sure if you're going to call that a sack, because I think he was.
That'll be interesting.
I don't know. It'd be close to calling a sack.
It looked like he was trying to step away from some pressure, maybe not scramble. So I don't know.
Nelson.
Third and a bunch.
Yep. Has a slow, very slow. Burrow with the little dump pass. Burrow makes something out of that.
Cole Rain goes up over Elder late in that contest with a 92-yard touchdown play.
Wow.
Wowza. Never count those Cardinals out, can you?
Bet they wish they had that last week.
Sportsmanlike conduct.
Another 15 yards.
Well, definitely some things to talk about in film study tomorrow, right?
Uh-huh.
Lots of penalties, lots of preventable mistakes on the exchanges and the pulling it back and keeping it situations.
If I was a player, I'm not sure I want to be in that Princeton locker room a little bit later on. They're going to get an earful here, despite the fact that they are winning. And looks like they will continue to go on and win this game.
Play is stopped on the field.
This team was league champ the first 27 years of the GMC, which started in 1967. Princeton won 25 league championships the first 27 years. And, you know, we were talking last week, between Colerain and Princeton, between the two teams, of course, Colerain's been the hot team lately. They've had 48 league championships between the two schools in the GMC since 1967. You see our teams that have advanced right now, the number 4, 1, 12, 2, and 3 seed. Well, 3 of the 4 should have advanced, but the number 12 was a bit of an upset. It looks like number 4 will be advancing. But not advancing the way I don't think the coach wanted him to see. Bureau with the run inside the 10 down to about the 6-yard line. Burrow can get down to the 2 and they will have a new set of downs.
34-27 Colerain.
Wow. So go into the pit and win, and
well, it's not over. 7:54. But
yeah.
Plenty of ball game left, but still, that's a good showing in the pit for sure. As I said, you really don't want much to do with Elder in the playoffs.
No.
So Colerain's sophomore quarterback Zay Jennings, 4 rushing touchdowns tonight. 92, 76, 56, and then the one that you're not going to put on the mantle, the 1-yarder. So 350 plus.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? Do the average on that, guys. I can't do it that quick.
What a difference a week makes for that team. Earl, he's going to be stacked up in the backfield. And this is going to be 4-down territory for the for Walnut Hills. Field goal really doesn't do much good for them as far as the score goes, so they're gonna go for the touchdown.
Might as well.
We have officials timeout here with 7:30 to go. Walnut Hills trying to get on the board for the first time tonight.
Hold off that running clock as long as they can. Play for a little pride here.
Yep. But you really have to think that Princeton has shot themselves in the foot here in the last quarter and a half.
Absolutely.
I mean, they had this game well under control after the first couple of possessions of the second half, and then the wheels come off, you know.
Zay Jennings' average touchdown?
75.
75 yards is average tonight. Give Doug Ramsey some things to talk about if they pull it out, huh?
No, really.
Give Elder's opponents some things to look at on the film.
That'll be interesting. We have another couple of ICRC schools. Harrison, we got anything else on Harrison tonight?
See
if we got anything on Harrison.
Refresh here, but I'll get that for you momentarily, sir.
So you do that, I'll kind of watch what's going on down here in the field.
Would probably be good.
4th down. And broken up in the end zone here, the pass.
LaSalle 42, Harrison 14, final.
So the Lancers will advance. So Division III, how we got Tippecanoe. Oh, is that right?
50-6 over Mount Healthy.
Ooh, ouch.
It's going to be a long bus ride home for the Owls tonight.
Absolutely on that one. So Division IV, Wyoming,
rolls.
Big time over Waynesville.
Indian Hill trailing 26-0 late in that one.
McNick is winning big.
Perfect season still, right?
Right. So
Bethel Tate 44-0 over Schroeder, final. Clinton Massey rolling.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. No. I've been saying that for about 10 years now. Clinton Massey rolling.
Another one of your CHL schools. Taylor loses big, 37-7.
Yep.
Western Brown, 63-6 over Beechcroft. Alter 10-7 over Monroe. Boy, Alter's had some struggles this year.
Yeah.
Definitely not their normal powerhouse. Ross goes down big to Dayton Chaminade Julienne, 38-17. That's not going to get it done.
Nope.
Hamilton Baden, big over Vandalia Butler, 37-0.
I think let's go back to Milford here because I believe Milford's up now, 14-7 in the fourth quarter. So that's a close game.
Take a look at Twitter and see if they've got anything more recent for you. Not, since the Inquirer is doing better than some other sites, but still a little behind.
If Milford wins, they will not have a home. They have a home game this week. They will not have one next week. It's their number 6 seed. And TJ Engelman's gets some running room, gets a little distance out there, out to about the 12, 13 yard line. And there's 2 or 3 players just kind of limping off the field. This is the time of the game where you're starting to really feel this temperature out here. And especially if you're losing, you feel it more.
Yeah. Don't want to say there's any quit. Yeah, so about 3 minutes ago, Eagles took the lead 14-7. Sawyer Kopp runs one in. Max Crawford with the extra point. 6:07 to go as of about 3 minutes ago. So halfway through. Quarter number 4 over at Eagle Stadium, powered by Cullen Electric.
Lebanon last week is the one who beat this Walnut team in double overtime.
Right, close one.
The winner of that game will take on Lakota West at Lakota West next week. Go West, of course, number 1 seed. Or number 3 seed.
Don't know if that want much to do with Tom Bolden right now.
Yeah. Engelman gets some yardage over the 30-yard line. That's going to be another first down. So now they're keeping the ball on the ground, and now they're making some movement here to keep that clock running.
Eagles get a turnover on downs, 3:35 left in the fourth quarter. That's the Milford Eagles. Keeping you apprised on that one. Centerville shuts the big one over Springboro, 34-14. They were down 14-0, scored 34 unanswered.
Wow. Screen pass.
For Herbstreet's alma mater.
Jaleel coming back the other direction. Making some room and now turning up the field.
Oh no. Wow.
What a run.
We have, look at it, we have 2 injured Eagles on the field after that. Engelman just creating havoc everywhere.
Let's see.
I mean, look at, he's on the far sideline and it ends up over in front of the Princeton bench, excuse me, by the time the play was over. Up the middle, over to the right, cuts back up, now forced out of bounds. And
now it's a 30-yard line.
One of the injured Eagles is up, the other's still down at the at their own 40. Go ahead, Bill, I'm sorry.
So that was probably about a 40-yard run, and he ran about 80 yards on that, I think. So.
North-south, north-south.
So 4:52 to go. The clock has stopped right now. Princeton with the first down in Eagles territory. Right now cruising to a 28-0 lead. Hoping to get win number 10. Moving on to play Sycamore Aviators here next week.
I don't want to say who the injured player is because I'm not certain, but I think I know who it is. I just can't tell. It looks like number 3, but I'm not convinced.
I think it was because I watched the play there, and he was the back
I think it could,
player on that play. So I think it's
Isaiah Burrow.
So Burrow
on the left leg.
They've already lost Bradford. They've already lost Bradford. Burrow came in for him, and he has played virtually every play for the Eagles since that time.
Never say never. It looks like they're working on him for a cramp, but boy, there's a lot of attention. He's been down for a while for a cramp.
He's got a whole host of people surrounding him.
They're working on both legs.
I think
the left leg's in the air.
I think he's got both Walnut Hills and Princeton trainers over there.
He does. I don't think it's too serious, but based on the look of the coach, looks like they're joking around a little bit. May have been one of those injuries where you just need a few minutes to let the pain go away.
Yeah. He is walking off the field.
Somewhat gingerly. Not limping, but somewhat gingerly. That's good to see. Glad for him that he's up and walking on his own power.
Mr. Burrow, 5'11", 169-pound junior. Meanwhile, back down here in the Eagle territory, the ball 31-yard line.
Almost 3 minutes to go for Coleraine, leading by 7 per Scott Springer.
And this time, Engelman is in trouble.
It picked off.
Is it picked off? Yeah, or is it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Number 4.
Another Vikings mistake, Bill.
Israel with the interception for Walnut Hills.
Take a look at it here on replay. Looking left, has to go right. Finds a receiver, but defender telegraphs and just steps right in front of it.
For Israel, that's his 2nd interception of the season.
Walnut Hills.
I don't know, is that 5 turnovers now for Princeton?
Well, they had 3 and they lost one right after that, so yeah, 5. They had 3 fumbles, right?
Yes, at least 3.
And they had an interception for, yes, that should be 5 turnovers.
I tell you what, if you got 5 turnovers, you're winning 28-0. You're getting out of this thing lucky, I think.
Kings High School wins.
#1 team in the state, Division II, ECC champion. Princeton has called a timeout. So each team has 1 timeout left, 4:45 to go in this contest.
So how about this? Elder, 4th and 10 on their own 31, just under 2:50 remaining. Getting a little nerve-wracking for the Panther fans.
A little dicey for the, and you can picture this right now. You know there's about 10,000 people in that stadium. There'll probably be some Coal Rain people in there if they can find tickets. Or they
they got to give them a couple, right?
Yeah.
Well, they get 100.
Or they can find parking. I mean, the one time
that's where you got to know somebody.
Yeah, one time I've been over there. They, I think I had to park about 5 blocks away. You park on the street. They have no parking, really, basically.
I guess Seton, there's a parking garage now at Seton.
Oh, I don't know. This was several years ago, so.
Yeah, a friend of mine that tailgate with for UC told me there's a parking garage there, and kind of overlooks the pit a little bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
I don't know how many spots.
Seton High School's right there.
They were talking about, people are buying tickets there for the Darius Rucker concert that's coming up already. I don't think it's happened already.
No, I don't think it has. So the give is to Zion James. So 2nd down. Princeton making a couple of substitutions. Well, no, just changing positions here. They've got some new players in there right now that don't have all the first stringers in here on defense.
Well, just like that, Elders on the Colerain 17.
So Blake Howard with the sack for Princeton, number 50. So
watching 4 minutes to go in this one.
So Fairfield is up over Mason. That's a final. So Fairfield won 28-21. So Fairfield will get the honor of playing the Moeller Crusaders. And I said, where is Moeller playing at right now? Are they still playing at Lockland?
Norwood, Shea Stadium.
They're playing at Shea Stadium.
Norwood.
My old stomping grounds down there.
Building a new baseball facility down in Miamiville, in my neck of the woods. But yeah, no plans for a football stadium.
Well, they played in 2 of my stomping grounds. The school that I went to at Lockland, and the school I taught at in Norwood. So.
There you
go. Norwood, well, they don't have as many seats as they had at Lockland. Lockland, they had 6,000 seats. Norwood, they have about 4,000.
Yeah. I haven't been to that stadium probably since I was in high school.
And stands only on one side of the field, too. That was my stomping ground for a few years. Meeloff back to punt. He's standing about his 2-yard line. And I think Clark Glover is back at the 40. So delay game is he's going to step back a couple more steps, almost right at the end zone line. Clark Glover take a couple steps up to 35.
Tied at the pit, 34 all, 131.
Oh my.
Remaining in regulation.
That might be the best game right now in Ohio.
I haven't seen any of the Cleveland scores, or many of them, but I would venture to say you're right. Uh-oh.
A little rugby-style kick got him out of the end zone. The ball goes out, and that was close.
That was near disaster.
It's a good thing he knows how to do rugby-style kicks there, because he could not have gotten a regular punt off.
No.
And that would have been blocked. That would have been a safety. So
Arlington wins 56-0 over Thomas Worthington. Double Kaufman over Huber Heights Wayne by 3. 27-24. Somewhat surprising. Shamrocks.
So we're going to have only a couple of ICRC schools left, and Divisions 1 through 4 here tonight. Milford survives, Princeton survives.
I haven't had a Milford update since the last one I gave you.
Well, Milford is surviving, let's put it that way.
Well, if it's 2 a time, hopefully they can just ground some out if you're a Milford Eagles fan.
DeAndre Rutherford is in for Princeton now as they're putting their second stringers in. Well, the Engelman is still quarterback.
An update from Milford. It's 21-7 Milford. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Nate Webster piles one in from about 5 yards out.
All right. So the Eagles survive, but they'll be on the road, as we said, at Lakota West.
More than likely.
Unless we have some kind of miracle finish here. And that is, I believe, that's 26. That's Rutherford. DeAndre Rutherford is. We don't even have Rutherford on our depth chart right now as far as. Oh, yes, we do. He had 18 carries for about 40 or 92 yards, looks like, coming in. He's actually had a couple of touchdowns.
Keeper, big hole up the middle.
And I think that was Rutherford again. No, T.J. Engelman. Engelman is a quarterback. Now, it's interesting now. I guess he technically is the backup quarterback right now with Lynn in, but your backup quarterback is as good as your first string quarterback.
Right.
Princeton, clock under a minute. This is Engelman. Oh, hard hit right about the 2-yard line.
So Milford at Lakota West. That's Lakota West is a great place to call a football game.
It is. I did about 4 years of calling football games up there at Lakota West, and nice press box. Scott Kaufman's done a nice job out there at Lakota. Of course, he used to be here at Princeton, and went over to Wyoming for a while, and then he's been at West now for a few years.
I don't think we had that treatment when we were there last year for Harrison LaSalle, but I did an ICRC game there. I believe it was Mount Healthy Kings.
Yeah.
And had the live stats on the monitor right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a college experience.
I know it is. Well, we used to do the games up there when I worked for Westchester TV, and the stat monitor was in the room next to us, and they actually turned it a little bit so we could watch it the whole time. So 19, 18 seconds, that's it. We're not going to have any more plays. So we've come to the end of this contest. 28-0. Let's look at our brackets right now. If the scores hold right now, next week will be Fairfield at Moeller. Sycamore will be here at Pat Mancuso Field. Milford will be at Lakota West, but he's not quite final right there. And the Elder Coleraine.
Coleraine has scored with 29 seconds left. Oh, no, I take that back. Coleraine timeout on their own 43. There's 29 seconds left.
29 seconds left.
Yeah,
so
still tied at 30.
So they're still hanging in there. So you know what? We're live stream, but you're just going to have to wait and see what these scores will be. But we know the Princeton Vikings have moved on. They're 10-1 on the season. They will be taking on the Sycamore Aviators, who are now 6-5 on the season with their win over East. It wasn't pretty.
Scott Datillo keeps finding a way over there at Sycamore, doesn't he?
Right. Well,
but yeah, not a pretty game here for Princeton. Lots to work on, but survive in advance.
No style points, but a win for the Vikings here as they move on in the playoffs. For Josh and Dean and our great staff out here tonight, our camera people out here, we cannot thank you enough for what you've done out here and during this weather out here. Glenn, it's great working with you. Maybe we will be working here together in the next few weeks here in the playoffs. ICRC will be at Reddings Veterans Stadium tomorrow for the Blue Devils in Carlisle. So that should be a good one for them. So we'll see if they will move on.
Thank you to Princeton. Sorry to cut you off real quick. Thanks to Princeton for hosting us.
Absolutely.
Great job as always.
Yeah, absolutely. Great place up here. Final score, 28-0. Vikings over the Eagles. For Glenn Olson, and the entire ICRC crew, this is Bill Brett saying goodbye.